Hey, what's up, everybody? Guess what? It's game day. Semifinals of the Gold Cup. The U.S. men's national team is taking on Guatemala, and we are here to get after it. Call what you want, average to good. You guys know the deal. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola, and we need some good comments from everybody today. We're going to try to read out as many as we possibly can, especially if they are part of the conversation and not getting too crazy. But great to see everyone, as always. Listen, Chuck.
Yeah.
No, you haven't eaten any food, and you're already glistening, so no air conditioning. How are you going to survive the next couple hours? That's what we all want to know.
Let's just hope we don't have a roller coaster match. I don't need my emotions to go all over the place. Can we just play one beautiful match? Easy peasy, to score early, keep the ball, control.
You know that's not going to happen.
Just make it easy for us one time.
Well, we had that game already. It was against Trinidad. I don't know if we're going to find ourselves getting another one, especially with Guatemala having absolutely nothing to lose and everything to play for. They got the momentum. They got the confidence. Are you concerned at all, Big Tones?
Man, I'm so ready for a little Concacaf right now. I feel like there's going to be some Concacafing going on tonight to be ready for. And, yeah, I'm hoping this team finds themselves in the final on Sunday of getting here. Good tournament, and they now put them in position. I thought would be sort of the stumbling block. This Guatemala team is not going to be. I think Charlie used the word easy. I don't know anything's going to be easy tonight.
All right, so Big Tones is cutting out a little bit. He must have Charlie's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I passed that Wi-Fi, bounce pass to Tony. Look at him, he's out. Jimmy, he's out.
He's out. Big Tones doesn't have the Wi-Fi.
Come on, Big Tones.
He might have air conditioning. He might have food to Chuck, but he definitely does not have the good Wi-Fi.
Hey, that Wi-Fi is out.
It is out. Okay. So maybe we buried the lead here, but we looked at the starting 11, Chuck. We thought there would be at least one change, maybe two. Luca De La Torre maybe making way for somebody. You could have Max Arfston making way for John Tolkien. It did not happen. We have the same exact lineup that we rolled out against the Ticos of Costa Rica. Are you surprised? Everybody in the chat, in the comments, are you surprised by this? And Chuck, are you surprised by this?
Part of me says yes, part of me says no. And I'll tell you why. I think the part of me that says no is Pochettino goes, these are the guys I trust. This is my best 11. We're in a knockout round. I'm just like a World Cup. I'm going with my starting lineup. The only way I'm making a change is if someone's in the red, right? Somebody just says, "Hey, my body's it's reached its limit. If I play from start, I really am at risk of pulling a muscle." He's saying, "I'm going with my guys. This is it. This is my starting 11. You all have earned it. We've won. I'm not changing the team." Welcome back the Wi-Fi of Tony Miola.
No, I had a Florida power surge for a minute, man. That was a little bit scary, but everything's on right now. I'm back, man. I'm back.
He's back.
And then the part of me that goes, man, I am surprised. Is everybody fully fit? In terms of energy levels, could you make a change here or there, a tweak? I think some players did deserve an opportunity to play tonight. That being said, he's giving everyone else another run.
All right, so we have Mauricio Pochettino apparently in the chat multitasking right now. Says, Arfston will not get cooked today. I talked to him already. We appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us, Mauricio Pochettino. Big Tones, no changes to the starting 11. I asked Charlie if he was surprised. He said yes and no. Where are you on no changes?
Yeah, I think we said one or two, right, coming out of the last show, and I'm a little bit surprised we don't get any. But I think we're starting to see who Mauricio Pochettino is, camp after camp, not making changes, and now through this tournament, not making changes. So that's how he's going to roll. Look, there's one sentiment from managers that says, this is the group that got us here. Let's roll, right? Let's roll, give these guys an opportunity. There's another thought that could it be that these are absolutely the guys that Mauricio Pochettino said have been the best guys in camp, period. And I'm gonna roll with them because they've been the best. I mean, there's so many ways to look at it, but I think we're getting a real idea of how Pochettino manages. And Jimmy, I'll just bring it up now before the game so we don't sound like were one of those that said after the game, you mentioned something about substitution patterns in the last show. And I told you, we'll start monitoring it now to see if, he is late on all of these or if it's just something we're kind of making up in our head.
Yeah. No, that's a good shout and a good reminder for everybody. Now, focusing on Guatemala, they're going to make one change from their starting 11 against Canada. The talented youngster who plays for Montreal and MLS, Olger Escobar, makes way for Pedro Altan. The number 10 is going to get his first start of this Concacaf Gold Cup. Everything else is the same. You got Santis, you got Rubin making up the front three with Altan, then Munoz, Rosales, and Robles. In that middle three, they play a 4-3-3. And then Morales, Samayoa, Pinto, Herrera in that back line. And then their backup goalkeeper, Navarro, is going to get the start once again. I actually thought he was very good against Canada, made some good saves, and really sprung a lot of attacks. He is very good at catching the ball and just trying to get it up top and bypassing as many lines as possible. And we're going to see a lot of Guatemala attacks, I think, trying to hit the U.S. if we're not paying attention. So some keys to the match, though, and I had a few. I was on CBS Sports HQ, and they asked me some of my keys to the match, and so I'm gonna say them out loud for everybody, and then you guys can chime in. One was staying emotionally steady. I think what Canada, in particular, using them as an example, suffered with is that they were highly emotional the whole game, and I just think as though it's a waste of energy. Okay, maybe at the beginning of the game you're getting going, trying to set the tone. I understand that. But as the game settles in, your emotions have to settle in too. So I think staying steady. I also want to talk about the tempo. I thought the beginning of both halves against Costa Rica were excellent. We talked about it in the last watch along. First 10 minutes, I was like, God, look at these guys go. Bang, bang, bang. 1 and 2 touch, keeping the ball moving. A lot of good supporting options. And then the third one for me, my 3 keys to the match, was trying to get the ball to Malik Tillman and Diego Luna as much as possible. They are obviously our creative spark plugs, and Tillman in particular has been excellent in having some type of goal contribution every time he steps on the field for the U.S. throughout this tournament. Anything you would add to that, Chuck, or anything you would strengthen based on what I said?
I think you're spot on in terms of the creativity in the attacking third. I think Diego Luna had a tough second half in the last match. So can he be consistent? I think we've seen what Diego Luna can bring to this squad and bring to the U.S. men's national team in general with his electric bursts, the energy, the tough tackler, the mentality, what you love. I think what we need to see a little bit more of is his quality on the ball and the intensity to win the ball back. And if he can get more involved, I think that's going to help this team in the attacking third. If you look at the group, Malik Tillman is the creative genius within this team. So how often is he getting on the ball? How often are players moving into good spaces so he can find them? How often is he taking shots? Because if this is a Guatemala side that's resilient and sitting back, Malik Tillman's the guy to unlock it with his shots from distance, because he does have quite the release. So I'll be watching how that attacking third moves and the fluidity of it.
Yeah, that's a good shout, and I like that insight. Big Tones. Before I get to you, I want to hear from the chat right now. Where is everybody watching this watch along from? Let us know where you're watching this from, and your score prediction if you want to add that as well. We want to see the variety of where you're watching this game with us. We appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Big Tones, any keys to the match for you to strengthen anything that I said or something to add on?
No, I really like you mentioned the emotional part of the game, right? Because this I get the sense is going to be very Concacaf-y tonight, right? And you got to deal with all the BS that goes on in the game. You got to deal with all the chippiness and the rolling around and the kicking the ball, like everything. And you just got to control your emotions. Look, we know it's easier said than done, right? It's never easy when you're playing an opponent. And if they go up somehow and they start killing the game off, like you just got to be. I think you said it. I saw your clip. You got to be steady, right? That's what you have to be. The final third, Chuck touched on it. I feel like I'm looking. I have all my notes in front of me from the tournament, every game, and I feel like I wrote the same thing in the final third. More movement and a little more decisive actions in the final third of the field. So for me, looking at it, it's been a theme because I wrote it every single game. So let's be a little bit sharper in those areas. Take some chance. That's the part of the field, like you show a little bit of flair, you show a little bit of intent to get forward. There's maybe a flick in there or something that you wouldn't do normally just by being safe, So can we be better in that area? But I mean, you guys nailed it.
Awesome. We'll have to wait to see how it plays out. We're not too far from kickoff. We'll obviously have to stop down very shortly to get onto the Glosso Network as well. But I do want to say at True Hyena, Texas, we got MW from Charlotte, Connecticut, Pennsylvania,
Boston.
We got some Arizona, Tampa. If you guys are in the same city, why aren't you watching this together? That's going to be the next step in our relationship as a community here. We got Spicy Pineapple. I love the name, from LA. Which part of LA? We got Ohio, Portland, Oregon, from Maryland. Where else we got? We got Thailand. I see Thailand in there. The Netherlands. What's up? Baltimore. All over the place. Alabama, Birmingham. Watching from New England. Derek V, are you hanging out at Chuck's house? And if so, can you fix the air conditioning?
By the way,
Kansas City,
Jimmy,
Tucson, San Antonio,
everybody's commenting on me looking red. It's because I've been out in the sun. I'm getting absolutely blasted on turf. I'm sunburnt. Now I'm hot. I'm hungry. So let's take care of business. Let's take care of business tonight.
Oh man, you look like you look like this, man. One big red dot.
Red dot. Chuck is a living red dot. I absolutely love it. Shout out to Pele, who's from my hometown, Temple City, California. Let's go, home of the Rams. I'd love to see it. All right, so what did we say prediction wise? Tones, you and I said 2-1.
Yep.
That we're going to win this game 2-1. Chuck, you weren't here for our preview. So what's your score line on this? Because I'm seeing some pretty solid 2-0s and 3-0s from everybody in the chat.
2-0.
2-0. Mm-hmm. Nice and easy. Who's scoring?
Ajiman scores.
Ooh, nice. Resident number 9, Charlie Davies picks number 9, Patrick Ajiman to score.
And I'm gonna go with a set piece. I'm gonna go with Richards.
Richards. Dunking on everybody. We're getting some big scores.
Man, he's giving goal scorers out. He's giving goal scorers out. We didn't think about that, Jimmy.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, I'm going to stay with my 2-1 though. I think
Guatemala's
they're going to be pesky tonight. All right, we're going to stop down. We got to get on the Glosso Network. When we come back, we'll get into it some more, and obviously the game's going to kick off. Should be a lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. What's up, everyone, and welcome to your favorite Average to Good show. Call it what you want. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola, and we are excited that you're here with us for our watch-along for the semifinal of the Gold Cup between the U.S. men's national team and Guatemala, who pulled off the upset in the quarterfinals, beating Canada in penalties. And we're going to get right into the starting 11. Okay, for everybody joining us on the Glosso Network, if you're joining us late on the Glosso America YouTube channel, let's get right into it because, surprise, surprise, there are no changes to the 11. Mauricio Pochettino electing to go with what he knows, with who he trusts. Is that going to be the team? I mean, if I was a player on the team, Big Tones, I'm going to come to you on this. If you don't play well, let's use Max Arston, right? We thought maybe he was the one player that was going to get changed out for John Tolkien, and he gets to stay in the team. For me, that just gives him more opportunity to prove that, hey, I can work on the mistakes that I made. I can get better defensively. He had a goal and an assist last game against Costa Rica, so I get why he's in the team attacking-wise, but defensively, he was arguably at fault for both of the goals that we gave up. So, or at least started one of the chain reactions with regard to that. But now I think he can walk into the team going, okay, I can fix that side of it. I can still be competent going forward, and he can almost blossom from here. And man, I wish I had those kind of opportunities when I was playing for the national team.
Just think if he didn't play, right? Now he knows he's got the confidence of Pochettino, right? You all know it's so much easier to play when you know the manager's got confidence. I don't think if he would have made a change, Pochettino, that he would have had the lost his confidence. But I still think Pochettino is saying right now, these are the guys that got us here. These are the guys I'm going to roll with. And there's some element of these have been the best guys we've seen so far because outside of some type of an injury, why wouldn't you put the best team you have available to you and the team you think is best on the field for a semifinal? If you don't do it now, you're never going to do it, right? So that's where we're at for me with Pochettino. But it's another indication of who he is as a manager, because we saw it, right? He only made changes in the Jamaica, two-legged series to get to the Nations League when he was forced to through injury, right? Doesn't make many changes at the Nations League. Like, he's saying to these guys, you know what? You earned my trust. Now go get us to the final.
Okay, so Chuck, talk to me then, because we're seeing some consistency in the lineup, which is not something you see a lot, right? We're a year out of the World Cup. We still feel like we're in tinkering mode, but he's rolling out some consistency in the lineup. Which partnerships are you looking to see continue to develop that are evolving in a really positive way for you and you want to see, or maybe a relationship that you want to see more of?
Funny you should ask, because I all think we predicted a Cardoso and Tyler Adams partnership that was going to flourish in this tournament. We all thought, right? We someone who was starting to really get strong minutes in La Liga, linked to Atletico Madrid, and someone who had a strong season with Bournemouth. And that was not to be. The person who came in was Sebastian Berhalter, who's been playing extremely well in MLS, but he's the one who ends up basically stealing the thunder of a player like Cardoso, who just hasn't really fit yet in with this U.S. men's national team. So I'm going to be watching Tyler Adams and Berhalter de la Torre, right? It's kind of, they kind of interchange, but those are the guys I'm going to be watching. We talk about the heartbeat kit. I saw a couple, tweets about statements about the heartbeat kit. I need to see the heartbeat tonight. This is a semifinal. Put it all on the line. That's what Mauricio Pochettino is looking from these guys. He wants to see that. So I feel like this group has really grown within this tournament. Think about all the doubt that they had placed on them coming in, during, and they've kind of met the challenge. So here's a big one in Guatemala that is all about fight.
Yeah, we're seeing a look here for everybody that's watching on FS1 in the United States. St. Louis Park, Energizer Park, is where the game is being held, and the fans are out, and they are excited. So this should be a good one with some good support for the red, white, and blue. Now, is there one player, Big Tones, that you're really focused on that you want to see have a big game tonight? Because I actually want to circle back on this conversation a little bit later, and anybody wants to participate. And if you're watching the Glosso Network, get over to the Glosso America YouTube channel so you can be part of this conversation. Join the chat. Is there one player that you want to see have a good performance or could be really important tonight for us?
Yeah, there's actually two. But the first one that came to mind initially right after the last game was Alex Freeman, right? Kid's a good player. He's 20 years old. This is his first he's dipping his toe in the pool here with the U.S. men's national team. So there's still a lot. But I thought last game was the least of his games, if you will. I don't think he was poor, but you always wonder, like, is he getting tired? You know what I mean? Like, is the mental part of it getting tough in these games? Like, where does he fit in? So I want to see him have a better game. I also want to see him have a little bit of freedom, right? Because you mentioned relationships. Malik Tillman's going to roam the field, right? He's not going to play as a winger. Nor did Jack McGlynn play as a straight winger. They come inside. So when there's opportunities to get forward, I think it's more a directive from Pochettino to sort of do that three-man back thing that we've seen, with Joe Scally it started. But when you have an opportunity to get forward, man, let's get forward and let's see, because if you watch him in Orlando, that's where he's made his way, is in the attacking part of the field. And I don't think we've seen enough of that. The other one, really quick, Luca de la Torre, I just think he needs to be better tonight. And there needs to be some penetrating passes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, when you're asking any player to be better, but as it pertains to Luca de la Torre, what does that mean? What do you want to see from him?
Can't be east and west and back all the time. You're the number 10 in this team, right? By just nature of the number 10
has kicked off. Just wanted to throw that out there. The game has kicked off.
Oh yeah, way to cut off Tony. Way to cut off.
Yeah, no, I get it. But just by nature, for me, a number 10 is a playmaker. Go and make plays that are decisive, right? We don't 6s and 8s. Those are the guys that are connectors. They go east and west when they have to. 10, he's got to go forward and make plays.
Okay, and then Chuck, how about you? Which player do you really want to see have a good performance tonight, or do you think could be a main catalyst for us?
Tyler Adams, with all the ground that he covers, I want to see him play balls forward. I want to see him try and split lines, take shots from distance. He's played it safe this tournament. And now I want to see him kind of take the initiative out of midfield. And so can he be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to playing to the feet of Ajiman or finding Tillman? That's where I want to see him take the next step.
Okay. Yeah, I like that shot. I'm going to be captain obvious. I'm going to go with Malik Tillman, who for me has been awesome on both sides of the ball. Listen to this. He leads the U.S. in goals. He's got 3 and maybe should have had a 4th. He missed his penalty in the last game. He leads the team in tackles, which could be a bit of a surprise, and interceptions and recoveries. So he's clearly doing it on both sides of the ball, and he got 6 chances created, which is tied for 3rd most on the team. And obviously now on the precipice of making a move to Bayer Leverkusen and leaving PSV, where we could argue he is maybe hit a ceiling and run his race there, can go to Bayer Leverkusen and try to fill the big void of Florian Wirtz. But to be trusted by Eric Ten Hag, however you feel about him as a manager, but to take this step in his career, I think is going to be pretty important for him individually and then hopefully for us collectively, because if he starts killing it in the Bundesliga,
let's talk about this, Jimmy. Let's talk about this build out. They lose possession and
tough.
And then there's a shot from distance. I think Guatemala are going to be doing that all night. They're gonna try and fake a press. Then they're really gonna press. They're gonna try and see if US will be cute on the ball, try and pick them off a couple of times, put them under pressure, and then they're gonna be direct, shooting from 30, 40 yards, try and catch frees off guard. A little shaky start for me.
Okay. Got some good hold-up play here from Ajiman. Hopefully we'll see what this leads to. But those are our choices for players that need to have a good game. But again, I think we're starting off, well, in that particular moment. They're going to play direct. Guatemala is going to play direct. There's no...
But how about Luna, right? If he gets the ball, what's the first thing he does? Look forward, right? First, look forward. You look forward. If it's not on, it's always easier to play back and sideways, right? Turn, half turn, and get facing the defenders and see what's ahead of you. So I love that from him. Berhalter, by the way, broke up 2 plays in that sequence, Charlie, you were talking about. So good start so far from him.
And Arson needs to work on that service.
Yeah. If you guys want to join us on matching up your time, you can look at the bottom of our screen. You can see the time that we're exactly watching it, so we can all be in joy as we hopefully score a bunch of goals in this one.
Freeman forward. I love it.
Go on. Who's that? Save. Diego Luna! Come on! Let's go! An early goal, baby. 2 goals in 2 games. Diego Luna. You love to see it. We saw Antonio. I kept calling him his dad's name. Alex Freeman in an advanced position. We don't really see him in the attacking third.
First time a good ball back, huh? Really good. Well done.
Top of the box, finds the open space.
Well done.
Navarro makes a save right back into the path of Diego Luna, who has the composure to tap it in. Let's get after it. He scored his first international goal against the Ticos in the knockout rounds.
Look at Luna. Forward. Looking forward. Change of play.
Beautiful.
Love it.
And Freeman, don't rush.
Nah, good.
Nice. And then,
see how switched on Diego Luna is, just to make sure he's ready for the recovery.
Who was that?
Those are good
Who was that with the shot? The first shot in.
I want to say
De La Torre. Yep.
De La Torre.
Oh, the goalkeeper had a little howler. That's all right.
Yeah. Listen, we don't mind a little howler for sure because it benefits us. But
look at Luna, man, going forward. Just be dangerous, man.
Hey, those 2 touches were great. And what a way to start the game against a very difficult opponent, because now Guatemala's got to get stretched, and that's only going to help us. We can hit them in the counter. And this is what your point was, Tony, in the preview. This is where Ajiman could really be could play to his strengths, because now with Guatemala having to step up higher, they should play a higher line, and that's where Ajiman's at his best, when he has some room to run. I love it.
Yeah, this great start. I mean, the finish was fantastic. Diego Luna is trying to make the game. And this is when he's at his best, when he gets a real sense of, man, I can put my stamp on this game early. I got to get on, pass, and move and try and unlock a back line. You could tell his movement is giving Guatemala problems.
Yeah, and he hit that switch too, which really opened it up to get it over to Alex Freeman, who again joined the attack in a more meaningful way, and it leads to a goal, which is nice. Because if we can have a dual threat with Freeman on one side and Arfston on the other, it just allows us to be a little bit more unpredictable for our opponents, which is a good thing. All right,
How many times do you? Sorry, Jim. How many times do you think Freeman got in that position the entire tournament? Has to be less than It's probably less than 10, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember. Yeah,
I agree with you on that. We put a poll up before the start of the game. How many goals were going to be scored in this one? Over the line was 2.5. I voted because I'm in the chat as well, even though I haven't typed anything for a second. And I said over 2.5 goals. It's looking like that could be the case here. I had 2-1, but with that start, maybe I'm going to lean more towards Chuck's 3-0. Yeah, here we go. Now we'll see. This is where we talked about before, right? Managing a game. What does it look like? What are the things? I know you guys have played long enough, and we probably did it when we were on the field as teammates, but also when you're coaching. Like that next 5 minutes after you score is so important, right? Can you continue to maintain that momentum? Can you continue to make good decisions and not just drop back because you have the comfortability of having a lead? And so this next 5 minutes will be pretty good to watch.
Yeah, and I always think sorry, Jimmy, I thought you were done. When I always think when
I'm never done, Tones.
when you get early goals, it obviously gives one team a boost, but it doesn't change anything tactically because you're 5 minutes into the game. You haven't really been able to do what you worked on, right? I mean, you're 5 minutes into the game. It's not like if you're Guatemala, right? You always look at the team that's down and changing things. Like they haven't gotten into any sets yet. Like, so I don't know what would change from that standpoint. Later goals, it's different, right? Because then you got time to manage, but there's no way you're managing this stuff this
nice
early
turn.
in the game. Yeah,
good, Tyler. Go forward. Yes, next one.
Luna first.
Next
forward
one
first. Look at Freeman forward. What's going on here?
Yeah, what's happening right now? But yeah, good play there. It starts with Chris Richards having some good composure out of the back. A good line breaking pass once again. He's very good at those to lead Tyler Adams into space, which allows us to break the next line. Unfortunately, we couldn't spring Freeman out wide, but it's a good signal of intent from the team. Another good entry pass gets away from Diego Luna. But again, I think we've been really sharp in these last 2 games to start games.
Oh, look at the big man get oof.
Yep. Bigger body.
Bumbling.
He said, get in the gym.
Oof.
Yeah, I want to see if we can get a stat. I don't know if we have it solved or sorted out by the end of the game today, but just kind of the heat map of Alex Freeman, because he's definitely getting up higher up the field. That clearly seems by design. And maybe we've identified, or the coaching staff's identified, a weakness there in Guatemala that we can take advantage of. The in back and through.
Yeah, Luna. I love Luna turning forward. I love it. Man, gotta connect better. But
he missed the pass, but Guatemala's in trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the fans looking at their phones like, oh boy.
So the stadium looks great.
This looks like Tillman starting closer to the middle of the field, and Berhalter has the freedom to get in that right channel more and leaving Tyler Adams alone, right, to do that work.
Right.
Yep. I wonder if it's hotter in St. Louis or in my room right now.
I don't know. You're the living, breathing red dot.
Oh man.
Yeah, I echo the sentiments of Name in the chat who says it's glad to see the stands are full. It makes a difference, and I feel like we should be playing in more stadiums that are in the 20 to 25,000 range, as opposed to just trying to cram games into big NFL stadiums. Yeah, that environment, atmosphere. I'm sure the players will talk about it afterwards too.
That's a pretty sick grass cut, by the way. See just the lines in the middle, the vertical lines. Ooh, Freeman again. Big Pat. Come on,
Edge.
Oh,
man.
But hey, Freeman's up there all day, causing trouble down that right flank.
Yeah, it's making a difference for sure. All right, here we go.
Arfson.
Go on.
Poor first touch from Berhalter there. Can he take? Can he get it down and go the opposite way?
Go on.
Tillman
with the steal. Get another one.
Oh,
my God. Come on. Woo.
I thought he had that.
I thought he had it.
Top corner, top bins. Ooh, the keeper was planted.
Oh,
Good reactions to win it back. Love his immediate pressure.
Oh, he had the goalkeeper dead to rights there.
He has that in his bag too.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back.
But Tones, I'm glad you're highlighting the fact that that Diego Luna always looks to play forward. I think that's a really admirable trait in him, because at times it is easier just to play what you see, play backwards, play side to side. But he's always looking.
You're talking about the front four. I mean, these are the guys who are supposed to be taking chances, right, in the final third of the field.
Supposed to be, yeah. I see Ajiman has had some good touches so far, though.
Yep.
All right, corner kick here for Guatemala. Their first real positive foray into our defensive third, but we are not troubled. It's been nice. We've been pretty solid defensively on set pieces, so that's been nice. We got Chris Bach. What's up, Chris? In the chat saying these watch-alongs are the best. No offense to everyone else, but love to listen to your analysis in real time.
Hey,
we appreciate you, Chris.
That. Look,
flattery gets you everywhere with us, so we appreciate you, Chris. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
Hey, we gotta love Salvador Gonzalez. He says, "Sup, boys? Let's go USA." A few notes. Jimmy is so ahead. He's already watching the friendlies against Japan and Korea.
Let me tell you, great games.
and make sure I get implement a hydration break
for Charlie.
100%.
I love that Big Tones called you a red dot. Like you look like a red dot in real life.
That's amazing. Do you know what I've been through today? I think I've lost 8 pounds in water weight. I am putting in work this week, and therefore I'm a red dot.
You're red dotting it right now.
Hey man, my stream just died.
My stream died for a second. I got the TV on too.
Back. Yeah.
It's back. It's back.
It's back.
Yankee Mojo. Thank you for the love.
We got a dodgy stream.
Roma. I am a Roma fan. Yes, we can talk about that later.
You're gonna be getting a few pop-up ads, Charlie, after all this.
So there was a question. It's I'd have to go back up the chat and see, and it's a good conversation piece that basically we won the 2021 Gold Cup, and that beating teams of this quality, Haiti and Guatemala and Trinidad, doesn't mean anything when the World Cup kicks around. I'll say this. One, we can only play the teams that are in front of us, right? Yeah. We're in the region that we're in, and we can only work on and face the teams that we're playing against. I understand where you're coming from, and that's why we're scheduling good friendlies. I think that the team learned a lot.
Yes.
We learned a lot from the Turkey and Switzerland game. Tim Ream said as much on Morning Footy recently. So those are big takeaways for us. When we have Korea and Japan in September, another opportunity to continue to cut our teeth. So I understand where you're coming from with that comment, and there's some validity to it for sure. But again, not a lot of this is under our control. Not a lot of it's under control. Like
Jimmy took the route. Hey, I appreciate what you said, but get out of here.
No, I respect the comment. I understand where it's coming from. But
man, Berhalter's been good so far, man.
Ooh, I love that switch.
Luna, get forward, Luna. Go.
Yes.
Oh,
they're
balling. Oh my God. The game is too easy.
Oh no.
Luna. Wow. He had an opportunity to play Armstrong as well.
Wow. Let's go.
Look at this guy. This game could be worse than 3-0, by the way.
Hey, book his ticket. Book it.
Wow.
Oh, man.
This ticket was already booked. Listen, the question for like Diego Luna and Malik Tillman is, are they going to find their way into a starting 11 spot? That's the big question at this point.
Hey, Lisa Carlin, shout out. She's in the comments.
Lisa Carlin.
Lisa Carlin.
Shout out to Attacking Third.
Big time.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow, look at Luna. Get forward. Good run by Arston to pull defenders away.
Making it look easy.
Oh, a little step over.
Woo!
Oh, man. He had him on
the doinky doink.
Oh, good.
My man said, hey, Europe, come get me.
Wow.
All he needs is a header goal now, right? He's got one with the right, one with the left.
Hey, Chuck, so let's use that comment, because if he continues to have a good performance, we get to the final. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We get to the final. He plays well there. We win it.
Yeah.
Where do you think Diego Luna would best fit if he did make a move somewhere across the pond?
Okay, you ready?
Let's speak hypothetically. I'm kind of curious as to where you think he would settle in and do well.
Hypothetically, so I think the Bundesliga, he'd do well in the Bundesliga, really well. I think that league would suit him. I don't think the English Premier League is a league for him. So Bundesliga, I think that's a good introduction. La Liga is a good place if you're on the right squad. If you're on the bottom half and you're with the wrong team, it's not a great place to be.
Sure.
Same with Serie A.
That goes to everybody.
Yeah. Same with Serie A. But I think within the Bundesliga, a mid-table team, it's going to take, I think, quite a bid to get him away from RSL and MLS. And so you're thinking it's not going to be a team that can afford a player like Diego Luna, who's a young, budding star within MLS. So I think Bundesliga would be a great fit. And then Serie A and La Liga also.
Oof.
Right. Okay. I like those shots. Anybody in the chat, where do you think he should go? I see something PSV. Kushmatic says PSV. That's not a bad shout. Good stepping stone to other destinations, as we've seen with potentially Malik Tillman here pretty soon. And obviously Pepe is being desired once he gets healthy again to go somewhere else. I'm sure Serginho Dest has had those offers too, but once those injuries kick in, it obviously changes the conversation a little bit. La Liga would be interesting. We saw Cucho Hernandez, right? He came from the Premier League, went to Columbus Crew, did really well to help the Crew, and now made the move to Betis and slots right in and looks great. Yeah. So when you have quality, you have quality, right? And I think it's just a matter of where do you think he can shine the most is really the conversation I guess I want to have. Tones, where do you think Diego Luna could really shine if he went over to Europe?
Yeah, obviously I cover Serie A quite a bit, right, at the channel. And
please don't. I don't want to see championship in there. Please don't.
There are
Fed, don't trigger Duck. He's hot and he's hungry.
There are some places in Italy he would fit. There are some teams he wouldn't fit because they don't value the ball at all, right? So I'd hate to see him go to a team that doesn't necessarily value the ball as much as you'd want him to. Look at Freeman with the ball. Good for you.
Hey, confidence is a hell of a drug. Our whole team is playing with a ton of confidence right now. But yeah, keep going, Tones.
Yeah. I wonder if there's spots in France for him to go. Like, it's a different league. It's a very athletic league. But he could be a different type of player.
I wouldn't recommend France because of how athletic it is. And if you're on a great team, if you're on Marseille, okay,
you got the ball the whole game,
and you're keeping the ball, yeah.
But if you're on some of these teams where it just gets really open and it's
look at Ajiman taking the ball down,
track meet.
All right, just wanted to have that conversation because I thought it was a cool hypothetical by you bringing that up, Chuck. And if he continues to play well, obviously he's going to be on a lot of radars. And then it's kind of all right. You're going to have to pay the guy to stay in at Salt Lake and in MLS. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, everybody's looking good. As you see a little stats right now, 5 shots for the U.S., 3 for Guatemala. We have 3 on goal and 2 goals to count for it. Guatemala, no shots on goal. Still got that goose egg. And here we go. See our high press. We can take a look at how we're shaping up our team shape. I like the wide shot just for that reason. And good collective pressure is so hard to play through if everybody's on the same page. So it's nice to see that come into the favor of the U.S. And I feel like we've done a nice job of negating any kind of counterattacks. That's a loose throw-in. And Malik Tillman, excellent. As I mentioned before, this might surprise a lot of people. Ajiman's going to be offside here. But tackles, interceptions, all being led but in the U.S. by Malik Tillman, which I think is really impressive. He's doing it on both sides of the ball. And Chuck, when we talked about Malik Tillman before, he didn't have the same type of impact. He definitely wasn't doing that consistently on that side of the ball. But it's nice to see him maybe without the presence of others. He was offside though, yeah?
Yeah, he was offside, but I'm saying, and he also missed, right? But Jimmy, I remember specifically you, Dez, coming at me for Malik Tillman. Remember, I was the only one saying Malik Tillman, he's gonna, and you guys were like, I don't see it, blah.
Whoa, this is revisionist history. Revisionist history.
Both of you guys were doubting Malik Tillman.
Okay, if I give you Tillman, then you got to give me. I was on the Diego Luna hype train first, and then all of a sudden you got on and tried to make it like it was your own.
I know you crazy because I talked about Diego Luna in the under-20 World Cup.
No way.
So you wild.
Stop the show. Des, I got receipts on that one. No way. Absolutely not.
You're wild.
I do not. No, Chuck's out here trying to claim he's got all the players that are playing well.
No, I didn't say that. But I did say I did call Malik Tillman and I did call Diego Luna.
No, you did not call Diego. No, we got receipts for that one. No chance. No chance. Where's the chat? Who's been with us from the beginning? We need some OGers in here.
People know.
They know. The streets don't lie. They know.
People speak. Tony, what do you say?
Dude, I worked with Brian Dunseth on the radio for years, man. I was on the Luna bandwagon before you guys even knew Luna was a soccer player. Right? So yeah.
All right, Big Tones wins.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys can fight all you want about it. Yeah.
Tones visited him in the hospital when he was born.
I helped give birth to him. Yeah, no, I was actually there.
You delivered him. You have a photo like Messi has with Lamine Yamal. It's like
exactly.
Look
at hey, beyond Amara, Charlie's been a Luna cheerleader. Holla at your boy. Everybody knows. Let's go. Team Charlie here. Greg Perez.
That doesn't mean he could be a cheerleader. It doesn't mean he was first one to talk
about. Of course. Everybody
Tony's got the discovery rights. Listen, we're triggering each other right here.
He's a homegrown for me. He's a homegrown.
Jimmy, Tony, this is how I know. Do you remember this? This is the rubber stamp of approval. I was coming at Mikey Veras for the way that he changed the team and the U20 World Cup. And that was the way he used Diego Luna. I know you remember.
Well, and then they use him, right?
And they lost. They lost to Uruguay, right? And I was saying they're playing, so they had a talented team, and he changed things up because he got scared in that game. So I've been saying that. Holla at your boy.
Holla at your boy. All right. I'm not buying what you're selling, Chuck, but I'll go along with it right now, just for the sake of the show.
I gave you all of that, and you doubt.
He still said no. He still said no. He's good.
I gave you the Dikembe Mutombo wag finger, like not this time.
You guys are nuts.
By the way, there's a play before when I was talking about Freeman. There's a play before that he makes a bad pass, and there's a half shot that comes in off a volley. Those are the moments he's got to clean up. It looked like the ball bounced up on him on the turf, but those instances can happen at the highest level.
Yeah.
So that's that's part of growing, man.
It is.
And yeah, it's part of growing and figuring out. But I love that he's getting forward.
He's getting a lot of reps though, too, right? Just in general. You can see that he's been asked to go forward, and it feels like he's not to say that Alex Freeman wasn't enjoying himself before, but sometimes you get in your thoughts and your feelings, you just don't want to make a mistake.
Well, you feel contained, right? Jimmy,
yeah, right.
You're like, okay, I can't leave my jail cell. Like I'm locked here and I'm uncomfortable. Now you could tell he's playing with freedom.
100%. And that's what Tones was talking about. You wanted to see him play with freedom. Oh, go on, Ajimon. He's going to run you.
Oh.
Yellow.
Good stuff. Good
Tarjeta
stuff.
Amarillo. Por favor. That guy's man bun is sick. That's a really nice man bun. I just want to throw that out there.
Perfect man bun, huh?
Yeah. That's quote unquote analysis. Hashtag analysis. What a man bun on that guy.
You don't get that anywhere else.
You don't get that
right here.
Anywhere else. Only on the Golasso Network and the Golasso America YouTube channel. But good hold up play there from Ajimon. Good turn down the line. Draws a good foul in a dangerous area.
Ajimon's doing all that hard work in this game. I'm telling you right now, for the people, okay, you want to see him scoring goals, but what else can you bring to the game? His hold up play, his movement, him winning fouls. That's all a huge benefit to a team. And shout out to Valerie Metzler. Charlie was high on Luna on morning footy while all you were still sleeping. Let's go.
Charlie's going to read the 3 out of the 6,000 messages that say Charlie was up.
Charlie's right.
Mind your business,
Tones.
Tones.
Right.
Mind your business, Tones.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Let's go.
Yeah, Lone Star says Charlie has a fierce imagination. This is what happens. Listen, I don't think it's a surprise that he has this fierce imagination when he hasn't eaten anything, when he's been standing in the sun all day, and he looks like a red dot. And when he's got no air conditioning in his seat, you just start making stuff up. I love it. I love it. All right, we're 2-0 in, 25 minutes into this game. U.S. in complete control.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about this performance right now. I'm telling you that right now.
Now it's just about managing it ultimately.
Well, we don't want to see complacency, right?
No, we don't. We don't. There's a good opportunity, good cross from good switch to the point of attack, right? So we saw that, I'm sure other teams have seen it too, that at times we can be vulnerable when some big switches happen. Most notably the Switzerland game, which will stay etched in my memory.
So this chance particularly falls on Arfsen. Arfsen has to realize where that player is. He lost track of him, and that's how that header came to be. And you can't lose a player from the weak side cutting inside, because this is Guatemala. You're playing against France, Spain, Germany, Brazil, Argentina. It's a goal, right? So those are the moments where you need the players to sharpen and be aware with obviously where players are coming into the box.
Can we talk very quickly though about Arfsen, Chuck? Because I don't think the guy's a defender, and he's an attacking player. He's a winger. That's what he does best. That's clear. When he joins us, even with the U.S. going forward, is where he's special. Defending is where he's not. And so I'm like, I'm gonna take a little bit of a deeper dive on Arfsen. And I found out when I did a deeper dive that his favorite player is Neymar. I mean, if you're an outside, left footer, you're probably saying Roberto Carlos or, but Neymar is, I don't know if that's who I want my left back having as a favorite player. I'm just throwing it out there.
Who do you think Dani Alves' favorite player was though?
Cafu.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Cafu. Because Cafu is an absolute beast.
Ronaldinho. Gaucho.
Well, that's like default. You got to say Ronaldinho.
I'm just saying, hey, you can't base a player.
I'm just saying, I thought it was a fun fact about Arfsen. No. And when you watch him play, that's what gets him excited. That's why he likes to play, get forward and make stuff happen. Again, I'm just trying to highlight that his I mean, for me, I would say Maldini is my favorite player. That's a proper defender, even though I love Ronaldinho and all these other attacking players for sure. So, who's
your top three?
Players of all time or my favorite players?
Your favorite players. Your top three favorite players. So if Maldini's one, who's 2 and 3?
Oh, what's going on here?
That's a goal. Is it offside?
No, he's offside. Rubio.
It seemed like somebody was dropped off way behind the line. Well, everybody knows, or if you followed me for a long time, I'm a huge Andrea Pirlo fan, so he would be in the mix.
Oh yeah, that fits your game perfectly.
Yeah, because
number 3.
Yeah, not very fast, but still makes plays. Exactly right. Andrea Pirlo, smoke a cigarette, sip a cappuccino, still controlling the game. I would probably throw in another Italian. They're all Italians, which is kind of funny. I love Nesta as well, Alessandro Nesta and Maldini.
Okay, now we're talking.
And Pirlo. Yeah. But actually, if I took Pirlo out and just went straight defenders, I'd throw Eddie Pope in there as well. I loved watching Eddie Pope play and tried to mirror my game after his the best that I possibly could. So when I got to play with him on the U.S. team, I knew exactly how he was going to move in every situation, which is why he's my favorite center back partner.
You studied him.
I studied him inside and out. Yeah. So it was good.
Our game's starting to even out a little bit here. Guatemala is growing into it a little bit, huh?
100%. They are.
You go up 2-0 early, and naturally you're like, okay, we're going to sit back a little bit, try and keep the ball, and you take your foot off the gas. That allows Guatemala to start, gaining possession, building the confidence, and saying, okay, we're close. Let's just get one. Let's chip away.
Hey, Charlie, just chill out. It's a hydration break for you. It's a hydration break.
Now. You can just chill out if you want to get some water, Chuck. All right, so we have access to a passing map for the U.S. men's national team so far in this game. We should take a look at that and see where all the action's happening, especially if we had to take Alex Freeman into the equation, because we've definitely gone to the right side. But as you can see, Max Arfson up on the left. His starting position's a little bit higher than Freeman's, but it's been nice to see Freeman have some lines of connectivity with Ajiman, Big Tones.
Yeah, and I'm in particular, I'm looking at Tillman, man. He has spent more time in that part of the field, which allows, I said, Berhalter in that right channel, right? So that's a combination that's been more sort of in tune. Luna's playing centrally too, which we saw over the last couple of games, allows Arston to get forward. So little bit of a mix. Interesting line on that left side between Ajiman, who's 10. It's Luna. And then look where De La Torre is too.
Higher than Tillman.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, everything else looks pretty good. I mean, Arfson's pretty high up the field. I like to see Freeman up that high. Charlie, any other connections you like?
Well, I just like seeing how Ajiman's involved. Guys are looking to him and the ball's sticking to his feet. We're not seeing, the first touch and the second touch is a tackle, So it's I think a big improvement from what we've seen just in the run of play from Ajiman. And again, that comes with reps, opportunities, belief, confidence, and Pochettino saying, God, people can talk all they want. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the chance because I like what I see. And right. I like the potential. So you're my project, and I'm going to keep giving you the time to build you up. And he's repaying the faith so far.
All right. So before the game started, or right as the game started, we each named someone that we were looking at to have a significant impact on the game. And Big Tones, let's circle back to how they performed in the first 30 minutes. You had Alex Freeman.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts so far?
Good. It looks like a different role in this game, right? He's being asked to get forward a little bit more. I don't know if it seems like it's more by design because his starting position's a little bit higher up the field. He did have, there's Berhalter breaking up another play. He did have that one giveaway that led to an opportunity, right? So just clean that part up. It didn't end up being a big deal, but I think against better teams it can be. But I like it. So look how high he is up the field right now. He's so far in the right of your screen, the right back, you can't see him right now.
Yeah,
he just ran through.
Long may that continue. I
look
think
where he is now, just getting in. Yeah,
I think that's going to be the best role for Freeman moving forward because he has gifts in that space and on that side of the ball for sure. Chuck, who did you have again?
Tyler Adams.
Okay, what are your thoughts on how he's performed?
I think he's been really solid. Tough tackler. He's played forward. So far, so good.
Okay, and then I had Malik Tillman. I think what's been interesting, and we even saw it on that transition play, Tillman, is maybe linking up with everybody, but a little bit deeper. And now De La Torre is running in advance of him. Diego Luna's running in advance. Even Max Arfson is running in advance. Oh, crap. Wow, what a save from Matt Freese. So, yeah, different role from Tillman, and I too wonder if that's by design. Wow. Good save by Matt Freese. We talked about this before.
How did this happen here? This is a simple ball over the top.
Well,
is that Rubin?
This is the pace that we talk about. Yeah. We're playing a high line.
Oof, that's a good kick save, man.
Yeah,
Very good save.
I don't think it was going to go in, by the way. I think it was going to hit the outside of the post.
By the way, Chuck, your Tyler Adams shout, 16 for 17 on passes, 3 for 4 on long balls. He's won 100% of his tackles. And
wow,
I just had another one I just saw. 19 touches so far in the game. Having a good game, man.
Yes, he is.
Matt Freese having to come off his line again to deal with a little bit of danger. Another ball that's just kind of in back behind our back line.
But again, can we go back to Tim Ream? What we were talking about, for it feels like a few years now, is when they play a high line, that ball in behind, the curling ball from the right back or the right center back that curls in, and now it's a foot race. This is Rubin. We're not talking about some of the elite strikers in the world, right? So, again, I think that's the hesitation is when we do feel like we're going to have the ball in possession and play high, that's the area that we got to be concerned about.
Right,
that's a vulnerability.
For sure. Guatemala, again, we've been good defensively on these. Hopefully that continues. It is an absolute chaotic mess on the top of our box. We can't get control of it. Either can Guatemala. Once we clear it, it's going to be a good opportunity to bring on a special guest who's actually at Energizer Park in St. Louis, the Athletics' Paul Tenorio. Paul, welcome to the show. Great to see you. How are things?
Oh, much different, to be honest, of what I thought it was going to go, considering the way the anthems played out. It felt like an away qualifier in Guatemala City.
Oh, wow.
And I thought really important for the U.S. to start the way they did, to take the crowd out of the game very quickly. It really, that first goal, but obviously especially the second, kind of made this a little bit more of a calmer atmosphere for the U.S. to operate in.
Okay, so given that it felt a little tilted during the national anthems, when we scored either goal, did you feel like there was a lot more energy for the U.S.? Was it loud?
Super loud for the first goal. Like, you don't know what to expect because, the blue and the white of Guatemala is so prevalent, and the anthem was awesome. Like, I love the anthems at the way qualifiers were always my favorite part, and it felt like that. It really honestly did. The whole stadium singing. But when the U.S. scored, a huge pop, huge ovation. So there are a lot of not just American fans here wearing red, white, and blue, but I think there are a lot of American fans wearing the blue and white of Guatemala who are Guatemalan Americans who, also like to see the U.S. do well. So it was definitely, definitely a lot of home support here as well.
Paul, who coming into this one, who were you looking at that needs to have a big game here?
Well, I think, for the game itself, I thought you needed to see Tillman and Luna do what they've done so far, which is control things on the attacking end and go after a Guatemala team, get some early goals, have some of those early moments. I felt like defensively the U.S. wasn't going to be overly threatened early on. They're the stronger side. Long term, like, these are important games for guys who are still trying to kind of boost their stock and show that maybe some of the low moments don't define them. So, like, I felt like Arfston needed to have a strong game. And I still feel like Ajamong has to show me something that makes me think he needs to be in this group going forward. I know that Pochettino really likes him, but I'm still waiting to be convinced.
Okay. So there was let's just talk about some stuff going on off the field. Let's talk Johnny Cardoso first. He's still injured, obviously dealing with the transfer to Atletico Madrid. What's the latest on his status, Paul?
So he tried to train yesterday. He went out on the field and trained for a little bit and still felt pain in his ankle. And what Pochettino said is it's not a huge deal. It's just very uncomfortable for him. And so they didn't want to put him in a spot where it could potentially get worse, but they were hoping to see if he'd be available. I think like all of us, the cynics in us are probably like, well, there's a $40 million transfer that's waiting to be finished. So maybe don't run out on the field with a busted up ankle. But it is disappointing from the U.S. perspective because, Johnny Cardoso has played really well at the club level, and that hasn't translated to the national team level. And so I thought going into this tournament that this was an incredibly important opportunity for Cardoso to show that he could win one of those jobs in midfield.
Right.
And in the same way that we've seen, Seb Berhalter kind of win Pochettino's trust over, that was the opportunity for Johnny Cardoso, and it hasn't happened. So I'm really interested to see when we get to September and October and guys like Weston McKennie and Yunus Musa start to factor back in, is Johnny Cardoso going to get a chance to come in? And I'm sure part of it will factor into what it looks like at Atletico Madrid, where obviously, Pochettino knows Simeone, and there will be some conversations there, I'm sure.
Good work from Diego Luna. Arfston, it feels like, is having a tough game. What have you seen from him today?
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought he got a little bit lucky on the goal that got called back. He was a little late to step. He almost held them on. It's interesting for me. He's a guy who never played left back in a back four, really didn't play left wing back until last year. I haven't been impressed with him in this tournament. He's made some big mistakes and big moments. I thought the game in Austin, it was running through him so much, the possession, and I felt like his decision-making was not what I wanted to see from him in that opportunity, in that role. But this is a position where the U.S. is still looking for depth. And I think Pochettino clearly is giving Arfston every opportunity to work out the kinks and figure out how to play left back in this system. And I think we've seen an adjustment today where, Alex Freeman is the player playing much higher. Seb Berhalter is dropping to the right side of the back line rather than the reverse where it's been Arfston pushing forward. And maybe that gives Max Arfston a bit more a bit less to do, and that simplifies his job a little bit more at the left back, and sets him up with a chance to be a little bit more successful than he's been.
Hey, Paul, obviously Ajiman's been the guy up top. What are you hearing? What's the word on Damian Downs? Like I've been saying the entire tournament, I want to see a little bit more. I know he had the injury early on in the tournament. I think it was for second game. Yeah, hold on. Ajiman's going.
Keep going. Oh, you got to play it in front of him. La, 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 la. Ah. Okay. Sorry, keep going, Paul.
Yeah, where are we with Downs?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Pochettino's been. It's interesting to me when he talked about Tolkien. I think it's a similar way to the mentality with Downs. Someone who came in late or hasn't been around as much. He has been integrated much slower, where he felt like he wasn't at the same place fitness-wise, hadn't been around the group longer. Obviously, Downs was ill for a long amount of time, and then he had some injury issues. The fact that we saw him in the last game is a good sign that he's starting to get to the point where he can actually play some minutes. But this tournament is still about testing guys for the bigger roster. And I just think Pochettino really likes Ajiman, and he's giving him game after game and as much deep into the games as he can to make his case for why he should be on the roster when we get to the games that matter over guys like, Josh Sargent, who's not here at this tournament, but when we start to factor in Balogun and Pepe, can he be the guy who plays the Haji Wright role of 2022, where when the game's late on, you want to bring on a bigger body, somebody who can match some of the physicality of the highest level center backs. But he needs to show he can score goals too. And even for me, I'm looking at the one, the breakaway he has here. He knew he's offside. We all knew he's offside. Still, you got to put it in the net, man.
Yeah, you're right.
In that moment, it just gives me a little bit of pause. And I agree with you. I'd like to see Downs maybe get, especially if this stays 2-0 or if it gets to 3 or 4-0. Can you get Downs in for 20 or 30 minutes in this game and give him a real run out?
Well, Paul, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you go over to The Athletic and read everything that Paul has to say. It's one of our favorites. And maybe we'll have you back on the second half. Hopefully,
yeah.
I'm going to squeeze you into that. I'm going to guilt you into making sure you join us for the second half.
Got no choice now, Paul.
I'll jump back in.
All right, awesome. Paul Tenorio, everybody. Appreciate you.
Woof.
All right, good set piece there from the U.S.
Who was that on the set piece? It was Berhalter.
It's Berhalter. Berhalter's been feisty, everyone. He's been feisty.
He's been sharp.
Taking another look at the set piece.
Oh, a little deflection too,
good save by Navarro. Here's another look at it. Oh, yeah. Really good save. It was going one way and came the other. I feel like this last 10 minutes, though, has gotten away from us a bit. Maybe 15. Maybe after the cooling break.
Yeah.
I believe Valerie mentioned that in the chat. So shout out to Valerie for that awareness. It just feels like there's been a little bit more urgency from Guatemala. No big surprise there. If they can try to get one back before halftime, that obviously would change the complexion of the halftime talk, and then obviously how you're going to approach the second half as well. And this is where we thought, Big Tones, we said in the preview, where Ajiman could really be of service for us, right? Gets the ball in space, can go running. Oh, my God. What is happening right now? I think I jinxed us with saying we had good set-piece defending, and Matt Freese with another big save. Looks like they called offside. Whatever they're calling, we'll take it so we can remain 2-0.
Yeah, but we can't give up free headers on restarts, man, at any level.
Yeah. Who's marking there? Wow, he's wide open.
Nobody.
Somebody came from top of the box. That's a great set piece.
Man,
and it looks like number 3 is offside for.
Yeah, how do we not have somebody at the penalty spot dealing with all of that?
Yeah, we're taking a look here at the first half momentum chart, and it's been all Guatemala in the second half of the first half. If that makes any sense. But we have to. If we can get in 1v1 situations up top, or if we can create any 2v1s, any numerical advantages, 3v2s, we have to be more clinical and take our opportunities when they come. Oh, crap. I thought Matt Freese maybe let that one go through his hands. And part of that is that Canada had some chances, too, to put the game away. And they couldn't do it. And the longer you let these teams hang around. Now, I know we're up 2-0, a little bit different than the Canada game. It's not like for like, but still some lessons to be learned from from knowing how to finish off a game. All right. So we're getting closer to the halftime whistle. Didn't see how much injury. A +3. We got 3 extra minutes, so a couple more minutes to go. Another free kick coming for Guatemala. Players are asking for a yellow. I didn't see who got the tackle in. Ooh, Tyler Adams.
Tyler.
Coming in late. Did he get to the ball first? Show it again. Ooh, Chris Richards giving a nice little... Hey, you know what? I like that we're dictating the physicality of a game and not actually be reactionary on this sense.
So
Sometimes
who got
I
the
feel
yellow? Richards?
It's either Richards or Adams. I don't know which tackle the referee gave it for. But none of it carries over anyway. It gets reset here in the semifinals. Okay, there was no free kick on that one. He gave a throw in. So maybe the yellow was for Richards. We'll figure that out. Now this is where we got to be able to play out of this type of pressure. So good composure there. And get Guatemala to keep dropping back because they can't hang with us being able to play through their immediate pressure. When we do that, they're not going to touch us. But when we get into trouble is when we can't connect after we win it. 1, 2 passes. If we give it up in those 1 or 2 passes, then we're going to get into trouble. And here we're hitting some hopeful long balls, but with not a lot of time left in the first half, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. All right, so for everybody in the chat right now, what are you giving this first half out of 10? And Chuck, I'm going to start with you. What are you giving this first half out of 10 as you eat because you need to eat? Maybe I cut you mid-bite.
7.
7. All right, 2 goals.
Yep.
Little. When we saw the momentum chart, that was a bit surprising how much momentum Guatemala did have compared to the U.S. Even when we had scored our 2 goals. Seeing a lot of 7 out of 10s. Mauricio Pochettino, who's in the comments while he's on the bench with his staff, gives a 4. Not happy.
No,
Benjamin gives an 8.5. 4. We're up 2-0. What about you, Big Tones? What do you say?
We've definitely made mistakes, but come on, we're up 2-0 in a semifinal.
Got 8.5 from Sam to match the other 8.5 from Benjamin. Got some 6s. Tones is on mute, so we couldn't have a stream without.
Oh, the classic mute from Tones.
Tony,
you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
I was going to say a B, but okay, yeah, I guess 7.
Just answer B. That's funny. What's your rating out of 10? B. I'm going to give it a strong B.
We're up 2-0. We put the team under pressure early. You get early goals. Looks like we're going to see it out, even though a little bit more pressure here in the second part of this half. So, I mean, kind of can't draw. You're not going to dominate the entire game for 90 minutes. Like the other team's going to grow into it at some point.
Yeah.
I'd say my sweat's at a 7.5 right now, Tony.
Yeah, you're like definitely an A- on the sweat.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'm pushing B+, but A- would be fair.
Yeah,
starting to really come down now.
I like what Taylor said in the chat. Taylor Elliott. It's halftime now, but he said 6 for the U.S. men's national team. I'll say 6.5, but Diego Luna gets a 10. So I totally agree with Diego Luna and his 10. 2 well-taken goals. All right, we're going to take a break here at halftime for the Golazo Network, Golazo America YouTube channel. When we come back, we'll get into some more halftime talk and to break down what we saw in the first half and what we're going to see in the second half. Don't go anywhere.
Hydration break.
Welcome back to the Glosso Network and the Glosso America YouTube channel for halftime to the U.S. men's national team's game against Guatemala in the semifinals of the Gold Cup. We are up 2-0, courtesy of 2 goals by Diego Luna. 2 very well taken goals and a great start to the game. Though we started to peter out once again. I feel like we start well in these halves, and then as the other teams start to grow into it, we get a little shaky, a little squeaky bum time, as it were. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola, and this is your favorite average to good show. Call it what you want. Guys, let's talk about kind of your play of the day. Or first, what's the best play of the half? Is it Diego Luna's second goal where he does a step over and slots it? He made it look easy, and I feel like that might be my play. I don't want to put words in your mouth, though, Chuck. What are you saying?
Yeah, there were a couple of passing sequences. I'd say the first goal I really liked because this long switch, Freeman, Tillman tries a great cut back to himself. The shot, it's a poor shot, but there's a rebound. Keeper Navarro doesn't do a good job of catching it, and Luna anticipates and finishes. I really like that because that set the tone of the game.
Okay, and then Tones, let's kind of pivot to what are you telling, if you're Mauricio Pochettino, what are you telling the guys right now at halftime? Because the game got away from us a little bit in the second part of the first half. And they got some chances, and they asked some questions, and Matt Freese had to make some saves. What are you saying now to rectify that? Because we got ourselves in a similar situation against Costa Rica, and we came out flying, but then, again, that game got away from us, and we gave up that second goal, and we have to go into penalties.
Yeah, continue to be confident with the ball. How did they get there, right? They built through all 3 lines. Just watching the replays here on TV and watching them grow into this Guatemala was be better with the ball, right? We started going long a few times, trying to go over the top, stretching the game a little bit. So they didn't get there that way. They didn't get to 2-0 that way. So you're getting a little bit more pressure. Still be confident with the ball. So don't be afraid to play. This isn't the highest pressure you're going to face, right, from a team. So get back to what got you there. And that's that first 15, 20 minutes of the game where the ball was pinging and it was moving, right? And get into good spaces and get it into the front 4 and let them attack a little bit more. That'd be sort of the theme. Of course, the other team's going to grow in a little bit. Nobody's going to sit around and just let you not make any changes. The manager's making changes on his end too. So now you have to adjust, right? So, yeah, but look, just continue to play with confidence.
Okay, so what's been your biggest surprise, Chuck? And I got 2 options for you. You can throw your own in there, and I want the chat to jump in as well. My biggest surprise of this game, well, I said I'm torn. It's Freeman joining the attack more, which has been a nice surprise. But then Malik Tillman feels less visible, I would say, right? I don't feel like he's had as much influence on the game. And I wonder if that's because Freeman is being asked to get a little bit higher up the field, which is now taking away some space that Tillman was occupying in previous games. Any other surprises for you, or do you like the two that I suggested?
In terms of players that
Just
need,
I don't know if there needs to be a correction. Yeah, I guess we could correct them, but just I was a bit surprised to see Tillman just dropped off a little bit more than he had been, and then that's allowing Freeman to get forward, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just kind of coincidental.
No, I think it's just you're taking what they're giving you, and Guatemala knew that Tillman is the player that U.S. focuses and plays through. So if you're Guatemala, you're gonna kill off his space. So then you drop off, you try and create more space. So that's where Diego Luna can shine. That's where Freeman's getting higher. Arfson's getting higher. So I look at it as Berhalter has shined. Obviously, Tyler Adams has shined. And Diego Luna has shined. Those are the three players, but it's because of the movement and the space. I love the competitiveness to win those second balls, win those challenges in midfield. Now, where can we improve? It's cutting out that ball, the predictable ball in behind if we're playing a high line. It's focusing on the attacking players on our weak sides, off the shoulder, not allowing them to just run in and be unaccounted for. Those are the moments where we've seen Max Arfson. We talk about his defensive responsibilities. We know he's pretty good going forward. That's where he shines in MLS. He thrives in a team that keeps possession, and he's attacking the right back. International football, you got to do a lot of defending, and sometimes way more defending than attacking, especially when you're throwing in Christian Pulisic if he's playing on the left. So I just think in this case, that's one player when we're talking about Pochettino giving chances to. He's given him a lot of chances, but I'm not seeing him correcting some of those defensive liabilities.
Okay, I like that. Good insight from both of you guys. So here's a question for everyone. Will Mauricio Pochettino make a sub before the 65th minute? Big Tones.
That's the first one. I think that, what did we say the other night? The earliest one was 62nd minute in this competition so far. I think we said the other night 61st or 62nd. What did you say? 65th minute?
65th. Yeah, over under 65th.
Over under 65th.
He breaks. So I'm going before the 65th minute.
Okay, and then who? Then who? Who are you thinking?
Oh, jeez.
Yes, let's go, Tony. Don't mute your mic now. Don't mute the mic now.
I'm gonna say. Well, obviously, it could be dictated by what happens in the game. If it goes up to 3-0, then you're probably making a different choice. Okay,
I don't want to hear these hypotheticals.
Not injury related. I'm going to go not injury related. Token for Arfston.
Okay, before the 65th minute.
Yeah, not injury related. Just straight sub.
Straight sub before the. Okay, Chuck, you seem ready to jump in here. What do you got?
I was going to go Tolkien as well.
Yeah, of course he was. Nice, easy.
Sure you were.
I have it written down right here in my notes, Stones.
Yeah, sure. Look at that. Look at that red dot face of Chuck.
Let me give another one then.
You could go. I bet you he loves Jack McGlynn coming off the bench. So you could have Jack McGlynn coming in for Luca De La Torre for somebody else.
I'm gonna go Damian Downs. Damian Downs for Aji.
Oh,
okay.
Before the 65th minute.
No, that won't happen.
No, not for. I'm gonna say before the 75th minute.
All right. We got it. We got to hit our break so we can come back for the start of the second half. So come back and join us, and we're gonna get into it like always. We'll keep the conversation going on the other side. Keep it right here. All right, welcome back into the Glosso Network and the Glosso America YouTube channel for the second half of our watch along. Call it what you want, watch along for the U.S. men's national team's semifinal game against Guatemala. We're up 2-0 right now. So long may that continue, that scoreline. But Guatemala was asking some questions at the end of the first half, and I'm sure they're going to make some tactical changes. They've got a very good manager to make that happen. So this first 10 or 15 minutes can be very interesting to see. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola, and some direct play from Guatemala right off of kickoff. And hopefully we've made some tactical adjustments as well. Big Tones, what do you expect to see in these first 10 or 15 minutes from the U.S.?
Well, what I want to see, one player comes to mind. I want to see Luca Della Torre get in tune with the game a little bit more. There are a couple moments, but just you were talking about earlier. How do you make changes? Like what have we got to get those guys on the ball, right? Guys that are possession guys and get forward with it, get it to their feet. We skipped the lines a couple times, so let's get him involved in the game a little bit more.
Yeah, we look like we're in a 4-5-1 right now. I honestly would prefer us to play a little bit higher up the field and dictate the terms as opposed to just letting them drop balls into dangerous areas, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't like the way we started off on the back foot in this second half. You knew Guatemala were going to come out, so that's when you want to play those killer balls. They're going to be a little bit more aggressive in pressing. They're going to take that extra, 2 steps to try to put you under pressure. That's when you can check and spin and play it into space.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what's happening right now. If Matt Freese is just going to give the ball and Chris Richards and Chris Richards is going to lump it, I'd rather Matt Freese just lump it. That way,
just let the goalkeeper, right? I said all the time. Get everybody forward and lump it, and go get guys in. Then
we have a better. Then we're 40 yards away from our goal. We got 40 yards higher up the field, and then we can try to win the second ball from there, as opposed to trying to figure it out right on top of our box. It pisses me off. So
I hear you, man.
Thank you for validating my existence, Chuck. I feel seen. I feel heard. All right.
Let's see if Guatemala has to build out of the back because, like you guys said, we dropped off, right? And that's not what we want to see. This is good here.
All right. So this hold-up play is key. Can we try to create any rhythm or tempo?
Oh, now we got the
in
foul.
The attacking third, or we can draw a foul and kill some time. No problem.
Yeah.
Guatemala fans are not happy there, huh?
Well, I would. There's no reason for him to Arfson's got his back to the sideline.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He's facing the sideline. Got his back to goal. Where's he going to go? That's what would frustrate me if we had teammates that were doing stuff like that. Tones, doesn't make any sense. I know you want to be aggressive. That's fine, but keep your feet moving and just win it when he takes a big touch. But emotions take over. All right, Sebastian Berhalter on the ball.
Let's get a good ball here.
Let's get the third goal and let's just see this. Let's just see this game out. Get the third goal and then see it out.
Good ball.
Aye.
Little eye.
All right, here's that counter.
Here's the counter. The
yeah, dive. Nope. Give a yellow for that.
Is that Berhalter yelling at him?
Yeah.
Oh, he just took a chunk. He just got Concacaf right there. He got Concacaf. That's Concacaf, Sebastian.
Concacaf. Yep. Robles said, okay. You want to chirp? I got you. Ooh, that's the knee.
Dang.
Yeah. He got him.
Look at the dive here. Whoop. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Ream giving the Dikembe Mutombo finger wag. He did get Concacaf.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get an knee into? Is it like a dead leg? Dead leg's the worst.
It is. It is so painful. A knee into the quad. It's tough. It's tough to bounce back. I'll tell you that.
Into your IT band for all you PT nerds out there.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, that swelling comes quick.
It does. It does. All right, another free kick here. After Berhalter gets tended to. Oh, he's gonna show him. He knew it was coming too.
He got it high too. You got to know it's coming after that, though, right?
Yeah.
You got to be smart.
He's been talking too.
It's kind of it's welcome to CONCACAF. It's one of those moments, you know. I think he saw it coming, but you don't really know the force and intensity when you're playing against some of these CONCACAF teams. Now he knows. Let's just say that.
Now, this is something we talked about. It's one of my keys to the game is just staying steady emotionally, right?
In.
Yes, and good turn. Oh, Luna is taking my man to what? No foul.
No call. Okay.
That was ex-teammate RSL.
That's right. He's seen it before.
Yeah.
I love it. Good combination play with Luca. Corner kick. We'll take the corner.
Good.
No,
Well done.
come on, Raph.
Did he call a goal kick?
He called a goal kick. I need to see that again. That was a friendly call for Guatemala. Oh, we're gonna get a look at it here. No, there's no foul there.
Luna went down easy. Yeah,
he did. He did.
There was a little bit of a tiny shirt grab and push, but he went down easy.
He competes, though. That's what I love about Diego Luna. Always looking to compete.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that, right?
Yeah.
We figured that part out.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable.
They said the crowd is jacked up. Okay, Dan Canyon.
Good. Now we got to manage the game within that. And we can't let Guatemala get any momentum or emotional momentum from plays.
That third goal is a killer.
The third goal.
That third goal.
Got to get the third goal. Wait, whoever scores next, right? That next goal is going to be.
Yes, Tyler. Forward, Luna. Forward.
Needs an option.
Oh, it got through somehow.
Go on, Big Pat. He needs some. But when he's looking up on the sideline, there wasn't that many good options to go forward. In fairness to him. Vivid says the men and women's national teams both up 2-0. See who does better.
Not enough intensity to close down the ball. Tones, Jimmy, do you see that?
Yeah.
They're giving too much space. Well, okay, you don't have to be in a high press scheme, but if you're in a mid block, the same principles apply, right? Closing down.
That's the only issue I have when you ask your teams to sit back a little bit or sit in a mid block. It's almost like you've given them permission to not. It's easy when you're like, oh, we're going to press the ball high. We're going to play higher up the field. Everybody's switched on and wants to go press. But when you sit in a mid block, it's like, wait, are we still pressing? And when do we press? The triggers have to be really thoughtful. And then when you sit back even more, then there's more time on the ball for players to play, even though we have a ton of numbers in those areas. That's frustrating. All right, question here, Football Lounge. Where would you rank Guatemala in the current hierarchy of CONCACAF? I'd say 6. Well, they're currently 106th of the FIFA rankings. So you have
6th in CONCACAF. So who do you have?
Mexico, U.S.,
Canada,
Panama, Canada.
So the
I'd
big
probably
four
put
right now,
Costa Rica over.
And then is Jamaica?
Jamaica, Costa Rica, and Jamaica would be the.
Gosh, Jamaica just drives me nuts, right?
Yeah, they should do better than they are.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
That's a good question. Yeah, 6 is probably not a bad shout.
Dominican Republic is climbing those rankings too. By the
way. DR looked good in this tournament.
Haiti's climbing those rankings.
Haiti, I like Haiti too. Haiti's always been in the mix, always criminally underrated, as we've learned firsthand. Chuck.
yeah, seriously.
Yes, I agree with Derek that Guatemala is probably better than Jamaica at this particular moment. But if Jamaica can get it together.
But Jim, how many times have you said that in your life?
Yeah, a lot.
Right? Like if Jamaica
can
get it
so
together.
Good. Yeah, their talent undeniable. Their talent's amazing. Oh, he was in. Go on, Diego. Come on. Good read by Herrera, his teammate. Good counter press. You don't have to win it. Pat.
Everybody's got to press from behind.
Don't have to win it. Keep your hands down.
Don't foul.
No, that's the thing.
He grabbed him. That's not good.
Keep your feet moving.
Yeah.
You don't have to win the ball. You're just trying to actually set up a bad pass or something more predictable for the next line. That's what we don't always get. Frustrates me.
All right, Berhalter's going to get a yellow 10 minutes.
Yeah. He's getting a yellow next foul, Berhalter.
All right, so we got 10 minutes before we see that sub, the over-under. Who's it going to be?
Good, Tyler. Good.
Love that. Love that. Now he needs an option. Oh, he could have played it back to Tyler. Get it to him. Tyler's now under it.
Oh, I love it, Tyler. Let's go.
That kill it dead touch. That's what I try to coach. You
Oh,
kill it dead, and then you make your move. Yeah, Tyler nailed it on that one.
Delatorre.
You got it. Nah, you got to foul him there because Tyler's out of position.
No, but it's the play before that. Put Delatorre in the bad position.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I missed that one. I was looking at the end result. No, I think that's a smart foul. Just slow him down at that point. Once you're there. But we got to keep that connective tissue.
I could see McGlynn coming in for Delatorre.
Yeah, I think McGlynn might be it.
I said that.
You might win this one, Jimmy.
And somebody crushed me in the chat. You serious, bro?
Somebody absolutely crushed you. I saw a bunch of you don't know what you're talking about.
Somebody crushed you for your opinion?
I know. I can't.
It's unbelievable.
What kind of world are we living in?
Jeez. Oh, man. Jimmy, your opinion's wrong.
It is.
You shouldn't have your opinion.
Jimmy, your feelings are completely out of line.
They're not valid. I'm not allowed to feel the way that I feel.
No, you don't. You should not.
I mean, that's a logical substitution. I think, especially now, the way it's kind of going. You got Berhalter, Delatorre, Berhalter.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a Schross, half shot, half cross. But Matt Freese manages it. Okay, listen, if we're going to play short, we're inviting pressure, then you got to be able to play out of it. And our spacing has to be right. Our spacing has to be right. If our spacing isn't right, then just get everybody up and kick it long, and let's play from there. There's no shame in that.
Look at the intensity here from.
I actually liked how that was setting up, but the ball got.
Like Tyler had to go back out right with it. He tried to I don't know, go left with it.
All right, here we go.
Got to defend this well
for Guatemala. That's because we play short. We invite the pressure, giving them some momentum.
This guy at the top of the box again, huh?
Yeah. They clearly identified us with our zone man press combination, leaving some space at the top of the box.
Oof.
Kelsey, what's up? Enjoying the fan cast. We appreciate you.
Aronson.
Didn't see this one.
No, did not see this one coming.
Did not. Oh. Tyler Adams tried to win the foul there.
He did. He's like breakdancing.
Trying to head spin. Windmill.
He did try that.
Delatorre off for Aronson. And just
Brendan Aronson comes
on. We had the Delatorre.
Yeah.
So we had that right before the 65th minute. So fair play to everybody who said that he would make a sub before 65th. I did not.
So does Brendan go to the middle of the field, you think?
Yeah, he's playing in the middle because that's where Delatorre.
No, it looks like Tillman is. Tillman, he's
central.
Out wide. Yeah. So
okay,
Tillman's
this is where we need to hold the ball. Look at, we're inviting pressure. Tyler, Ream, Arfston. Now it's got to go forward. Okay, good. Now let's keep it. And now Guatemala drops off, and we can take a breath and get reset and actually have some numbers in advantageous areas. But we were missing those passes, and that's what gives them life. They feel like they can come back into it. We'll play the advantage.
Yeah, I don't get.
Just play the advantage. Blake Foster says Aronson is a menace defensively. He is. He's the Energizer Bunny at Energizer Park. Yeah, you like what I did there? That's terrible. Don't accept that.
Yeah, your feelings are wrong there, Jimmy.
All right, so you can see where the Guatemala, the pressure, the triggers are. Once they get from one center back to the other, it's time to go. But yeah, I mean, they're basically trying to high press now.
There's no central option. Look by the referee. Yeah, now Tyler's moving in. There's no one in that area.
Freeze.
Just simple.
Good play.
Less is more. Less is more. Okay, now if we play inside, somebody needs to help out with that supporting option. Like, you can't play it to somebody with pressure on his back with no option whatsoever. Sorry, I'm getting to the weeds. Salvador. Red dot for me. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
Go on. Go on. Chuck's watching this from what? You're ahead of us. Chuck's ahead of us. Go on.
Where are you at? I'm 59-43.
Okay, no, we're the same. I thought you had seen something we hadn't seen.
No. Your feelings are wrong, Jimmy.
Is that my wife? Who's talking right now?
Oh, your wife just got us
I'm
straight.
just kidding. She got us straight.
Oh.
I love that cheeky back heel from Diego Luna. What's up, would-be farmer? Thanks for everybody hanging out with us today on the Glosso Network and Glosso America YouTube channel. U.S. is up 2-0 over Guatemala. 60 minutes into this semifinal with a chance to play either Mexico or Honduras in the final itself. That game will be in Houston on July 6th.
Nice.
In the air conditioning. Good ball. Go on. Come on, Freeman. He likes that entry pass. Maybe could have bypassed the next person. Okay, Aaron's put it in the mixer. Ah. Oh, what a save. Good. Better.
Good.
Asking questions.
Good.
Finally,
Good.
It took us 15 minutes to actually have a dangerous attack in the second half. Good save by Navarro.
Good stuff here. Good stuff.
But that header's got to go back to the near post.
Yeah, head it back where it came from.
Anywhere but there. I'm glad he got it down, but it's got to go right back to where it came from, and that's in the back of the net.
All right, let's see if we can make some hay here in this one. Okay, Sebastian Berhalter, default set piece taker. He's got good weight on his set pieces. You don't have to do as much if you're attacking the ball. They're not floated in, so I like that he puts it in with a little spice.
Oomph.
It makes a difference. It makes a big difference.
Nice. No foul.
That's
No
gonna be a
foul. No foul.
No
Yes,
foul. You let it go.
Foul.
Okay, letting us play. All right, you see the momentum chart now. Definitely swinging to the U.S. You'd like to think at some point Guatemala is going to get a little bit tired, but we have to continue to make them move.
Yes, good ball.
Yes.
It's the weight of his passes, Ajiman. They were under hit before, and now this one is overcooked.
He's got
he would have been off, I think, but
he's got enough room. Yeah, there's no foul there.
Absolutely no foul.
That's an area of improvement for Ajiman, is that connecting pass, especially with players that are running in advance of him.
Ooh, there's a lot of subs coming in, huh?
A lot of subs. 3 subs coming in for Guatemala, including Olga Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar's going to come in. Yeah.
18-year-old, very good in 1v1 situations. Could be a nice little spark for them. But yeah, with the amount of running Guatemala's been doing to try to get back into this, they got to have some tired legs out there. All right, we got to get pressure on the ball. We can't. Got to step. Now we got to connect out of this press. Okay, we'll take the foul. That's true.
Did I see Rubio Rubin wearing Mendez on the back of his shirt?
Yeah. Yes.
Does anyone have any idea?
That's his full name. Mendez is his. It's Rubio Rubin Mendez. There's one other.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense. Let me see here. Rubio Giovanni Mendez.
What a touch by Diego Luna. Oh, good decision. Go on, Brendan. Play him in. Go on, Big Pat. Finish it off. No. Was he offside anyway?
No, didn't look it.
Diego Luna's first touch, though, on the sideline. Classy.
Yep. Skill check.
Yep. Good pass, good running.
He's on. He's on.
Man, he's on.
Oh, Lord.
Why didn't he go to his right? Maybe he's close.
I'd like to see him be able to get a first touch on that ball instead of running after it, right?
Yeah.
A little bit
He had
lighter
enough
on that
there.
pass. Yeah, there was enough, but
I wonder
if
he
he
could have
gets
done a
the
little
first
scoop-a-doop.
touch, he sets it up, you know?
Right.
He could have easily dinked it to the right, though. He could have played it
Yeah.
around him and ran and got it, or he could have just chipped it to the right. Dink.
Do you think Chuck is our resident number 9? And I guess this goes for anybody, but in Tones for sure. Do you think he's kind of past that development phase? Right? He's 24, 25. Are we? Is this it? I mean, he can get cultured in some areas, but you're kind of smoothing out something that's already there. I think the thing is maybe some of that's not already there, and maybe that time has passed.
There are certain parts, right, that you don't expect to just magically appear if you don't have it. Can he sharpen up skills? Can he get better in terms of developing an IQ, a feeling for the game, certain runs and learning tendencies? You can do all those things. If we're talking about changing into a completely different type of player, you think Ajiman's going to turn into Luis Suarez or a Sergio Aguero? Like, that's not happening, So you try and make the most of what you have, refining his skills that he already has. I don't see him all of a sudden turning into some type of cultured striker like a Thierry Henry, for instance. That's not going to happen. But can he be better and tidier with the ball at his feet with his first touch? Can he take advantage of opportunities like that? Finishing? Yes, no doubt.
Yeah. I just know there's a lot of science out there that you get a lot of the way you learn, when you're younger, like learning piano or learning any kind of skill set, first touch, especially when you're touching the ball, and his first touch could be better.
Let's go.
But this is where we think he's at his best. Ajiman running at the defender. Yep. Perfect.
Keep
driving, baby.
Okay.
Keep driving. Good tackle.
That right there is his game in a nutshell.
Yes.
That's it. This is the best part of his game right there.
Now I should say I didn't have a great first touch when I was growing up as well, and I feel like I missed out on some of that development stuff too. And I went and worked, not to say that Patrick's not, but I went and used a tennis ball machine to try to help kind of strengthen my touch over and over and over, thousands and thousands and thousands of reps coming at me from different angles and whatever it may be. And it did help. You get the comfort level you get in your first touch becomes higher. So I don't want to say you can't learn at his age. I was just kind of saying some of the little details and nuances of the game that maybe got passed by. Ooh, what a hit by Malik Tillman.
He did that knowing the whistle was already blown, That was like, let me get a free shot here.
Yeah, right. All right, the refs owning that mistake.
One thing about Berhalter, man, he doesn't take his foot off the pedal. He is intense the entire game. By the way, is Poach going to go with the jacket, you think, at the World Cup with the way it's been so hot in the summer?
I think he is. I think he's sticking. If
you
he's doing it here,
with a jacket?
Yeah,
I think he's sticking to it.
Man, black jacket, black shirt. That takes some
He's
stones, man.
He's got to feel like Chuck when you don't have.
He's going to be living in Charlie's house.
Chuck knows what it's like to be in Mauricio Pochettino's armpit right now.
What does it feel like to be?
Oh man, yeah, it's going to be hot next World Cup.
Don't do renovations in the summer. How about that?
Especially when they got to turn off your air conditioner to do it.
They ripped it out. They don't even turn it off. It's gone. There's no alternative for me.
Well done, Matt. That's great.
Yeah, I do like that part of Matt Freese's game. He's very good coming off his line, or at least it sees. I don't know. You probably watch more NYCFC than I do, Big Tones, but he feels he looks assertive. He looks assertive when he comes off his line.
Yeah, it's tough in that place, man. Playing at Yankee Stadium, there's no time to come off your line. Like, you don't see.
Yeah.
You think Poach goes with this look right here we got on the screen? Like, this is hot, man. I mean, if you're coaching in England in November, like that's a decent, keep you warm. God damn, it's gonna be. Where are they in LA, right?
2 games at SoFi for the group stages. What's the other one? Where's the other one? Seattle, maybe? Is Seattle the other one on the West Coast for the group stages for the World Cup?
I think he's sticking to it.
Yeah, first and third games are at SoFi in LA, and the second game is in Seattle. That's what we know so far of the World Cup.
Damn.
For everybody that's unaware. So that that outfit could work.
Yeah, it
I
can
mean,
work.
it can be hot, but it's not humid, you know?
Yeah, you should have told us that in '94 in the Rose Bowl. It wasn't humid.
That's true. It can get
Seriously.
humid. It was hot. I remember that summer. All right, so the game feels a little bit better.
A little bit better.
A little bit better. We're starting to take more control. Guatemala's making a ton of changes. Rubin comes off. Altan goes off. Now we got a cooling break. Cooling break.
Chuck, you're on.
I need my cooling break.
Dude, you actually got more red during this game.
Yeah.
You got a 10 in your house. That's what you got.
Okay, so at the beginning of the game, we all had players that we were highlighting, and we're going to circle back once again here in the 71st minute. Big Tones, you had Alex Freeman. I think he's probably had his best game so far of the tournament. I don't think that's
I think this has a couple moments for sure that he needs to clean up. I'm you know me and young players. I've been saying this for years. I'll give young players if they've got some potential, you put them out there knowing they're going to make a mistake at some point, right? Young players just inherently make mistakes, and you got to live with some of these things in order for them to grow. So for me, I like Jimmy. I'm going to green dot him here for the performance. Yeah.
Okay. And then Chuck, you had Tyler Adams.
Yeah, he's been a real solid player throughout this game. He's doing everything that's asked of him. He's been accurate with his passes. He's kept possession. He's broken up plays. He's won his tackles. He's been all over the place. So for me, he's done his job and then some.
All right, I had Malik Tillman, and he's been a little bit quieter, I think, on both sides of the ball. He had some moments where he had a good play in the first half where he got a shot, got blocked, won it back, and then almost scored. He curled it to the back post. Outside of that, haven't seen him as much, but this is the moment where I want to see more of him. If he's going to be on the game and we're managing the lead, we need Malik Tillman on the ball. So I want to see Malik Tillman get on the ball and dictate the flow a little bit more. Not asking him to dribble through 10 people. It's just a matter of getting on the ball and just keeping it moving.
Give me the next sub, guys. Give me the next sub.
That would be and here's Tillman on the ball now.
Ooh, he still got it somehow.
He still got it.
Ooh.
I said not dribbling through 10 people, but he's going to do it anyway.
Who's the next sub?
I don't know. It's hard to know. And at some point we got to make some subs. I mean, some of our guys are looking leggy. I thought that same thing happened against Costa Rica. It took us a while. Where
I don't know, just to slow the game down, why you wouldn't make a sub here, right?
Right.
What do we got? We got
Luna
two windows.
It.
He had the run from Aronson.
This is better, though. We're starting to break up more attacks. Then we missed the pass. Come on, Tyler. We got to keep that. He knows it. I saw his body language.
He does know it, Jimmy.
Yeah, he saw it. You saw the head cock back like, oh, man. I know that body language. Yeah, the next sub, Tillman, Luna. That's who I would consider getting some fresh legs to help kind of press. Ajiman bringing Downs.
Yeah, it feels like Downs is.
I'd almost change out our front three at this point. I mean, you can see Tillman walking. He's tired, dude.
By the way, he took a couple shots tonight, too. Remember how many shots he took against Costa Rica?
Yeah.
He took 2 or 3 tonight as well. My man. Oof, that's tight. That guy ran behind
Culkin could be another one, just to lock it down defensively, get some fresh legs. McGlynn can come in for one of the attacking three. Ooh, that guy does well to jump over that tackle.
I'll tell you right now, if Guatemala scores, that roof is getting blown off. You know, like those fans are gonna go nuts, and the U.S. are gonna really feel the pressure. Just go and get that third one already.
Yeah. Good ball there from Tim Ream to his Charlotte FC teammate, Patrick Ajiman. We can't miss that pass, Max Arson.
Hey, you talk about that head tilt. That was Arson right there.
Yeah, he knows. It's got to be. I mean, these are the moments we're talking about. This is about managing the game. You got to connect passes. Can't take unnecessary risk. Good, Tim Ream. Good step up. Now let's keep it. Just keep the tempo going. Doesn't mean you have to slow it down. Boom. Get it to the next guy. Nobody has to do extra work. What do they say? Let the ball do the running.
Let the ball do the work.
That's right. Good. So now he needs options. So Freeman, okay, good. We got a couple options. All right, that's okay. Keep it. Draw Guatemala towards you and then play through them. But we need good supporting options. So the work happens. The magic's in the prep, right? You see the ball coming. Can we get in good supporting options before a ball gets to a teammate? Then we can play through it. And then the game becomes easy. Instead, we hit it.
See, Ajiman has to be running over.
Yeah.
Knowing that
he's tired, dude.
That's the ball. So he's there for support. You got to be an option.
St. Louis in July in the summer. We got to make some subs, man. These guys are tired. Ajiman and Tillman, get them out. That's a good pass. Pull Ream out. All right, here we go.
Hey, I give Guatemala a ton of credit for the way they've still approached this game. They haven't given up. You know, they still feel like there's a chance. Hey, Tolkien.
There we go. McGlynn and Tolkien both coming on. Yes, finally. Here we go. All right, if there's any questions from the chat, hit us up right now. If you want to get into some trigger who you want, shouldn't be too hard with Chuck, who is dehydrated, hasn't eaten, stood in the sun for 10 hours, and now has no air conditioning. So,
yeah, so who comes? Tillman, and then Aronson goes to the middle. Is that what you're doing, Tillman? Or does McGlynn come in for Luna? Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. McGlynn will go on the right.
Tillman looks tired to me, though. Looks more tired than Luna does. So Tolkien comes in.
Do you think these are the right subs?
I would have taken Tillman off. Frankly,
I'm okay with Arfson. I feel like he ran out of gas.
Yeah, I'm okay with Arfson as well.
He hasn't played well. It's not been a great
Tyler
game
Adams.
tonight.
So we got Luna and Adams coming out. So Tolkien's coming into, maybe Arfson pushes up high and then Tolkien goes behind. That's probably what I would do.
How are we going to do this here?
So McGlynn and Berhalter are and Tillman are the midfielders.
Yeah, Arfson has to go to the left wing, right?
Yeah, Arfson would go to the left wing, and Tolkien would go
4-4-2 would end 4-4-1-1, maybe.
I don't know. I have to wait and see.
Tolkien's playing higher than
Tolkien's higher. Yeah, holy cow, we've never seen this, have we?
So Arfson's playing left back, and Tolkien's now.
But didn't he play as the number 10 at his club as well, right before they got relegated? I think they used him as a number 10, Tolkien as well. I'm going to look it up here, but I think I'm right about that.
Adam says leaves Tillman on the field longer than Luna because Tillman's better. Yeah, that's no argument there. But Tillman just looks a little bit more tired, whereas Luna seemed to have a little bit more burst in his legs to help close the ball down, especially on the defensive side. But no, fair. Good shout from Adam.
I'm a tad confused over this sub. I'm trying to work it out in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I would just put Arfson higher than Tolkien. That's it. I don't mind having two left-sided guys, but
I'd rather put McKenzie in at that point if you're just gonna.
Oh yeah, true.
He plays left center back in a back three.
Right.
Gosh, Ajiman, come on.
Yeah, you can't lose that ball.
I'm shocked that Downs isn't getting more time.
I agree. He must not be training well or something. I don't know. I know he's coming off, as we talked to Paul Tenorio earlier, coming off being sick and Pochettino just clearly likes Ajiman. So
according to it looks like Tolkien only played one game at left back. The rest he was listed as left midfielder in a 4-4-2.
Well, if you're buying Tolkien as a left midfielder, then I got real issues with you as a sporting director. He's not a left midfielder. He's not a number 10 in the national team or an attacking midfielder. So that one is
9 games as a left midfielder, Chuck, and 1 as a left back.
A head scratcher. Maybe that's why Holstein Kiel got relegated.
There's a lot of reasons I think why they did. Up the Storks.
Yeah. Oh my God!
What is even happening?
Is that the young kid? Is that the young kid?
Oh my God!
Too easy.
Carved right through him.
Is that the young kid Escobar? Is that him?
No, I don't know if he didn't score it. I don't think. That's the second game in a row where we've gotten carved up. Like we look tired.
And we take off Tyler Adams?
Yeah, he goes right through his area of the field.
They are in a 4. Yeah.
This is two. Somebody's got to step. Somebody's got to. What?
Oh my.
I mean,
Tolkien's late.
Dude, I think this is the young kid, Escobar.
It is.
oh, Escobar did score. Yeah. Olger Escobar, the 18-year-old from Montreal. What a finish. Yeah, these Tyler Adams getting subbed off was an interesting one too. We didn't really talk about that. And now it's more apparent than ever now that they scored it where he would usually be standing.
I think they're in a 4-4-2 here. We saw this at the beginning of the competition too, when he put the 2 strikers on at one point.
Man, this is a worrying trend for this particular group of players for us, where we don't manage leads very well. We don't manage situations, or when we give up, and also when we give up a chance, they're goals. Like, okay, you give up a chance, but can we get a deflection? Can we get something on it? Why do they end up having to be? I'm frustrated.
Wait, hold on. Didn't you predict 2-1?
I did. So did you. So 2-1.
And I also said it wasn't going to be easy, right?
No. I know. I get all that. But now once we had it 2-0, I wanted to see us go 2-0 as opposed to being right, Big Tones.
I just want my prediction to be right, Jimmy.
No, it's okay. I usually sit in that space too, but
no, I get it.
Valerie's got 2-1 as well. Just to reflect, taking off Adams and Luna.
But why take off Adams?
Yeah, one of your most experienced players.
You're talking about protecting a 2-0 lead, and you take off Adams?
Yeah, you need people that. Yeah,
you throw on 2 left backs.
Yeah, and then you don't even put the one that defends better in the left back position.
Am I missing something? Am I missing something? You're putting on a left back as a central midfielder.
Yeah. No, you're not missing anything. That's right. All right, here we go. We got Jack McGlynn whipping in pieces now. Oh man, that would have been nice. Okay, but we got to get back. We got to defend. Okay.
And now we're just kicking the ball. Now we're just kicking the ball and we're trying to survive.
Dude, Ajimon's tired. That dude's tired. Can you? I don't know. You're asking him to do a lot, and we're sitting pretty deep. This is where the center backs need to take some accountability too, making sure our lines aren't collapsing on each other. Because they're going to start getting desperate and urgent and starting whipping balls into the box. And we invite a lot of that the deeper we sit. Because then we can't even play like that
was a near handball. Near handball.
Now we got to push our lines up. You still have to do the work even when you're dead tired, right? The spacing between everybody has to be really disciplined. We can't get stretched. Can't get stretched.
Has anyone figured this formation out yet? I feel it looks like a 4-5-1, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look like a 4-5-1. That's the thing too. When you start playing players, this feels like hopeful, right? You hope that John Tolkien can go in and do the job. That's a hope, as opposed to knowing he can go in there. And then you're also hoping that everybody understands what it's like to play with John Tolkien in that particular position when maybe you haven't worked on it that much.
But if it's a 4-5-1, it's but he's played here. I mean,
not for the US though.
No, not for the US, but he's played here, so they clearly worked on this. I don't think this is they just threw him in there today.
Oh man, all these set pieces are making me nervous.
Now we're talking about getting red. I'm getting red. Now here's Downs and here's Zimmerman. Here are the corrections.
But corrections for what?
Okay, yeah.
You're gonna go to 3 in the back because now you put Tolkien in. So
well, you still have Arston in. So Arston comes out.
Who's
comes
Zimmerman
out.
coming for?
Zimmerman comes in, and Tolkien's going to the left back. I just saw him say
comes out.
Arston
Okay.
comes
Yeah,
out.
so you're
now,
going.
now you take off Arpson.
Yeah, that should have been done immediately. So Downs comes in, so you get some fresh legs up top. You bring in another center back, and now you finally make subs to lock it down. No problem.
And as Brown said, I'm turning into Red Hulk.
All right, Downs. Good
So
first
is Walker
touch.
Zimmerman ahead of the front line?
Walker, take a touch, man.
Take a touch, dude.
Hold on, is he playing ahead of the 2 center backs, Walker Zimmerman?
Yeah, he's a defensive midfielder.
There's no way they worked on that, Big Tones.
We got to see if that's true, though, man. That would be the first time, no?
No, actually, he's the number 10, Zimmerman.
You're a jackass. You are a jackass, man.
Chuck's losing it.
No, he's dropped deeper here. Yeah.
No, he's going to play in the middle of a back 3, I'd assume.
Okay, let's go. Here we go.
I was going to say maybe we shouldn't play it
5
short.
to the back.
And of course we played it short. Come on, Brendan.
He said Route 1.
Come on, Damien. Yeah, that's okay. Just let Matt Freeze do it and push everybody up. I don't know why we.
So where is Tillman playing on the left side in the
Tillman can't run anymore.
Yeah, he's shot.
All right, shield it. Well done, Tim Ream. Meg says I forgot Aronson got subbed in. Don't worry, he's going to score the 3rd. Don't worry. Positive mental attitude over here. PMAs.
I just don't know how do you sub off Tyler Adams? I'm still perplexed, gobsmacked by that, and
Wow.
you leave Arfson on.
Here's a shot, live shot of Charlie Davies.
Chuck.
That's Chuck's new angry emoji.
Hold on here. Tim Ream hurt. Did we just use our last window?
We did.
We did. So we'd have to drop to 10 players.
No bueno here.
What did he get a knock or was it
I don't know.
I don't know either.
He's fine.
All right,
He's
get up.
fine.
Good.
He's a robot. He's a robot.
He's a trooper.
You're not allowed to get hurt, Tim. That's it.
I don't care how old you are. We gotta. You're like our most steady defender. Man, this game is chippy. There's no rhythm to this. Maybe because the referee keeps calling fouls every 5 plays. All right, here we go.
Don't get cooked.
Good recovery from Freeman.
He got fouled, right?
Did he call a foul? Oh, he called a throw.
Oh, no, he got thrown way up the field.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. Come on.
All right, a couple minutes left in this game. We haven't seen how much stoppage time is going to be added to the end. We've been here before, and Costa Rica ended up scoring late. Well, it was like the 80th minute, right? Or maybe a little before that. I can't remember. But it felt like this. Chuck said he wanted a nice, comfortable 3-0 win. Chuck, we didn't get that.
Nope, we didn't get that.
It felt like we were going to, though.
Yeah.
20 minutes in, I thought, oh, man, we're going to win 5-0. Yeah.
Just so unnecessary. That's what it comes down to. So unnecessary. And I don't love the substitutions. The substitution patterns.
Yeah, we got to dive into them. Everything's happening, but we got to dive into these subs a little bit here at the end.
Yeah.
Once they close this game out.
For sure.
Because some of these are not. I wrote down some of these formation changes.
Oh, jeez.
So this is our third formation of the game,
gotta
isn't
step
it?
up. Got to step up. Yeah, third formation of the game.
In the game.
I mean, Downs.
We're in a 5-4-1. Look at those blocks.
You see, Pochettino, he's pissed because Downs is pressing and everybody else is just kind of standing and not pushing.
Yeah, why is not anyone not yelling to Downs? Don't press.
What the hell is this?
Yeah. Or just inviting crosses.
Pressure. We keep doing this. It's coming. We're sitting in 2 flat lines.
Chuck,
pressure.
How pissed are you when you go and you press and you turn around and nobody's telling you anything and there's nobody behind you?
Yeah.
Right?
It's the absolute worst.
You got no chance, right?
4 minutes. We got 4 minutes. Oh,
it's like
watching from Greece. What's up,
hey,
man?
Tones, it's like a rondo and you're the only one versus 10. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And nobody's yelling to you to come back, right? They're like, man, let Charlie go do all that. Get that forward, do that work over there.
All right, 3.5 minutes left. We are inviting a lot of pressure. Sitting back now with 5 in the back. Walker Zimmerman came in, sitting in between Tim Ream and Chris Richards, trying to manage the crosses. And any hopeful long balls that Guatemala is trying to throw into.
Tolkien, can you not just complete a pass?
Yeah, I think this one got deflected.
Possessions,
but he was just going to boot it anyways.
Possession's out the window right now. We're just seem to be defending for our lives. But possession will actually help us manage the situation.
We're stumbling, bumbling, fumbling, foul.
Because we're tired. We didn't make the right subs. Tillman was gassed like 30 minutes ago, Benjamin.
You see, that was
the last ditch tackle.
Yep, the challenge of I'm tired as hell.
No. Oh,
what a save.
I knew that was coming.
Oof, that's a big save, man. Big moment. It's a big save. Now you got to defend this. You got big guys in the game, right?
Look at
you got to defend this.
Guatemala supporters are feeling it.
Losing their minds. Got 2.5 minutes left.
This ain't good. Tony, this is not good.
Oh!
Even Navarro's in there.
Wow, they put their goalkeeper up. That's risky. Oh, you got to block this cross. Keep your feet moving.
Yes.
Keep your feet moving.
Way too much.
Corner.
That's a corner?
No, I thought he dribbled out. Yeah, he dribbled out.
Did deflect?
No. He dribbled out.
Goal. We'll take a goal kick. Good way to. That had eyes. What a save. Maybe hits the post, but what a save.
He easily could have taken a step to the far post, and that goes in.
Yep. Woo! Ooh, man. All right. A little less than 2 minutes.
What's going on here?
I don't know. He called a game? This referee's losing control.
This O'Shane referee, he's the Nigerian referee, right? Or the Jamaican referee, right? O'Shane Nation.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Him and the other guy, Yvonne Bartone. Every time they ref a game, it's a mess all the time.
Tolkien with a good clearance. Not really. Okay, here we go. We got to get pressure on the ball. Get pressure on the ball and don't get beat 1v1. Damien Downs.
Everyone just
Why are we so deep? Why are we so deep? We don't need to be that deep.
Go. Our
lines are. Hey. Easy. Tillman still got a little bit of room for some sauce at the end of the game. He could have laid on the ground and milked it. Just kill the game here. Good defending.
He said, whoop, he gotcha.
Oh, baby. He set him up for that one. That's nice. That's real nice.
Sí se puede.
Tillman found a little extra energy there to make a good play and then obviously to slow the game down by earning a free kick. That's what we like in our game management. Those are the dark arts that we like. We appreciate it. All right, just pop it in the corner, Tim. Atta boy. Hold it up, Damien. Or don't. Ooh, to go off our throw-in?
No, that was an impossible
Gotta call
ball.
the game. Call the game.
That was an impossible ball, Jimmy.
Yeah, it was. Press. Gotta get some pressure. Make a play.
Drop.
We don't have to drop.
Drop. Here comes the Hail Mary.
He's gonna let it play out because he likes drama. Call
Nope.
it.
Yes! On to the final, baby!
Here we go. We booked our ticket to the final. All right, we're gonna take a break here on the Golasso Network and the Golasso America YouTube channel. When we come back, we're gonna break it all down in our semifinal recap. So keep it right here.
Once.
What's up, everybody? And welcome into the Golasso Network and the Golasso America YouTube channel. And for everybody listening on your favorite platform for podcasts, welcome into your favorite average to good show. Call it what you want. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davis and Tony Miola. And we are getting into the U.S.'s big win, 2-1 over Guatemala in the semifinals of the Gold Cup, booking their ticket to the Gold Cup final, which is very exciting. So where do we want to start, Chuck? Where do we want to go with this? Maybe.
Okay, let's.
How are you feeling? Let's get a temperature check. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Okay, let's start with the positives.
Let's do that.
Let's start with the positives.
Positives. I like that. Positives.
Good way to go. Good way to go.
We're in the final of a Gold Cup. That's a positive.
Diego Luna to start the game.
2 goals. Brace
movement. Okay. I think the Tyler Adams Berhalter pairing worked really well in that first half, breaking up plays. They did most of the work, right? And that's why Tillman we didn't really see too much of. That's where I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay, that's a nice segue.
I'll pass the rock.
Let's pass the rock. We'll get a little hot potato of positivity to Big Tones. Where are you? Because this is fresh. Game just ended. For everybody listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, we just did a 2-hour plus watch along. So we are raw with emotion about this. Giving you the positive. What are your positives in this one, Big Tones?
Yeah, I'll use Charlie's and Charlie's too, and I'm going to add Matt Freese comes up with a big save at the end of the game when we needed it. So I'm going to add that as a third one.
Okay, and then I'll add game management. I wanted to see us evolve in some ways.
Game management as a positive?
Huh?
No, not. I just thought, hey, we had a 2-0 lead and we won the game.
Oh, Jimmy. I'm gonna go the complete opposite end of the spectrum with that. So your feelings nullified, Tony. Tell them. Go on.
Well, listen, what's funny is that I didn't even get to finish my thought before I was rudely interrupted by someone who is dehydrated. I didn't get to finish my thought.
Big red dot. You said team management.
Yeah, but then you jumped in before I could even finish my thought. Before I could even finish my thought.
Finish this thought. I got to hear this.
Yeah, me too. I'm so curious. Go ahead. Give me your positive spin to team management.
So we started off with a nice lead. We scored early. And then we almost gave the game away at the end. I don't really have anything positive to say other than we got the W and we're in the Gold Cup final.
I almost left my office, Tony. I was literally ready to. He tried to say team management was a positive.
I couldn't.
That was terrible.
No, we didn't manage it well.
It's so disappointing. It is honestly absurd. The substitutions. I'm trying to be calm too, but it is absurd. The substitutions that Mauricio Pochettino made.
And when he made them.
Up 2-0. You take off Tyler Adams. That's one. But you're going to bring on John Tolkien and keep Max Arfson in the game? What?
Make it make sense, everybody. Make it make sense. Yeah, so we're a little frustrated. I guess I wanted to hang on to the positives a little bit longer, but it's hard because we're frustrated with how we almost gave that game
the biggest positive. We won the game, right?
Right.
The final. So that was the first mission, no matter what, and then we go from there, I guess.
Yeah, it's.
Oh my God, I'm cramping.
Yeah. He's cramping right now
because I'm so angry. I'm red. I went to just flex my hammy. It's cramped. Oh.
Man, thank God we didn't go to extra time, Jimmy, because he would have been done. We had to take him out to call him a sub.
That's right. It wouldn't have gone to penalties, right? It would have gone to extra time and then pens.
I thought was it the semifinals or the finals only? I thought it was the finals only, but I mean, I don't know. Charlie couldn't have gone. Chuck couldn't have gone extra time. He's done.
No, he couldn't. He
would have.
He couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So let's go line by line then, shall we? And so Matt Freese, I thought, was good. He made the saves that we needed to make. There are times where, and I know this probably isn't his choice, but there's an ask of him to play short. And then he'll play short to someone, and that person will just hit it long. And I wanted to reiterate this because this frustrates you and me, Tony, in particular, because we used to do this when we played together. But if you're just going to hit it long anyway, then I'd rather the goalkeeper push everybody up, get the 30 or 40 extra yards, and then just knock it long and we can play from there, as opposed to inviting all this unnecessary pressure. If we're just going to hit it long anyway, that frustrates me. So I know that's not necessarily on Matt Freese if that's what's being told to him to do. But there are times where he has the ball in his hands. He can be like, hey, I need to slow the game down. Let's get everybody up and we can play from there. And then if you're going to get some heat from your coach afterwards, then you get a little bit of heat. But that's what you were feeling in that moment. And it feels like Mauricio Pochettino is giving that type of trust to these players. That's all.
So I always looked at it this way. If I didn't see the second pass, then you weren't getting it. Like if I didn't see the pass to you is the easy one, but I need to know that you have a pass to the next guy. If not, I always thought it's coming back to me. So if I thought it was coming back to me, I don't need you. I can do that myself, right? I don't need to see you kick the ball long. I'd rather. So I always looked at the second pass. And if you if you don't see it, then don't play it, because I already knew that and most goalies in this day and age, they can do that. They can put the ball long to somebody. So yeah, so there's a little bit of that missing. But again, I think that comes with experience. But you made the save in the end that you needed to make, and a couple balls that he came out. I think 2 or 3 crosses he came out for. So that part positive. What'd you say? Just the whole back? We doing the whole back line?
Well,
or we just started with the goalie?
Yeah, we're gonna start with the goalkeeper, and obviously that's your area of expertise. So I wanted you to dive in there. And Matt Freese made the timely save. He made that big one to his right at the end of the game. That's what you need. If you want to win anything of consequence, got to have a goalkeeper making timely saves. So let's talk back line. I thought this was Alex Freeman's best game. He got forward, joined the attack more so in the first half than the second half. Richards and Ream were fine. You know, Richards maybe. I guess you're right. The goal that we gave up, Freeman and Richards could have done something a little bit different to close the ball down. It seemed to be some hesitation as to who is actually going to step to it there. Now, we are arguing that maybe if Tyler Adams is on the field, they wouldn't have had to address that, because Tyler would have been in and around that area or sniffing it out, because that's what makes him special as a player. I do have an issue with Richards and Ream allowing the line to drop as deep as it did in the last maybe 10 minutes of the game, which just invites cross and hopeful long balls over and over and over again. And then when you win it, we've got nowhere to play out because the lines are collapsed on top of each other. And I think the center backs in particular can control that and get people off of their laps and make sure that we're not dropping deeper just to drop deep. And it invites a lot of unnecessary pressure for me. So that's on them, in my humble opinion, based on how I used to play the position and how I was told when I was coming through the system. That's what you should be doing too. And then Max Arfson gets forward well, but still a liability for me defensively. Chuck, any thoughts on the back line?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Max Arfson. We've talked about it constantly, right? The art of defending at the international level is different. You have to close players down. You have to take the right angles. You have to have this mentality of, I'm willing to fight. I'm going to tooth and nail. I'm not going to give you anything. And, you're not getting that from him. And on top of that, it's a lack of awareness on crosses. When the ball's on one side, not paying attention to the players off your shoulder, that's curtains. That's game over. And so we keep talking about, okay, we're going to see a little bit more from him, but he drops off and there's a sense of fear when he's defending that if I step, I'm going to get toast. So I need to drop back and maybe delay him and I'll have somebody come and help. That's an issue. So for me, Max Arfson, again, is having a tough time at this level, playing left back.
Okay.
Tim Ream and Richards, I think for Ream, we saw at times what we always fear, and that's the lack of place when teams play in behind. And Chris Richards, I think, has made so much improvement over the past year, but he still doesn't have that pace to make up for a center back with a deficient amount of pace, right? And then Freeman, I'm going to go with Tony. This is his best game in a high pressure semifinal. Of course, he made some mistakes, but he involved in the first game. He got a lot higher. You felt more freedom from him in this game. He didn't feel like he was restricted as much. So that's where I'm going to go with my back four analysis.
Okay, so let's get into the midfield then. Tony, I'm going to come to you. So you have Tyler Adams. I think we were surprised that he got subbed off. He was not the player I thought was looking leggy out of the midfield. I thought Tillman was looking a little bit tired and probably deserved to have that, and you can keep Tyler on to kind of close out the game. So a bit of a surprise of a sub. We'll get into Mauricio Pochettino and his decisions a little bit later, but just in terms of how the players performed, you had Adams, you had De La Torre, and you had Sebastian Berhalter in midfield. How did you feel about those guys tonight?
De La Torre I needed more from, although he grew into the second half a little bit when it started and then it fell off again. Sebastian Berhalter, I'm seeing some comments here. I'm looking at the numbers, and the numbers bear out to be a really good game. 27 of 32 passes. 4 of the passes that were apparently lost came from crosses. And I don't know if that means restart crosses or that means crosses in the run of play. So just I'll leave that one where it is. Won 6 of 12 ground duels as well. And he had 13 positive defensive actions in the game. So I don't know if that bears out to be a bad game like some people think. I thought he was pretty good in this match, pretty steady. I do want to know, though, what his role was, because as much as we talk about him being next to Adams, he was a little higher up the field tonight. And do we have a chance to get that heat map again, or that do we still have that?
Let's see if we can find the heat map.
If we can find that
the passing map.
The passing map. Yeah, if we can look for it by the end of the show, we didn't have to. I know I'm throwing you guys on the spot right now, but I'd really be interested to see where the majority of his actions were. Tyler was clearly a little bit deeper. I will caution this with the Tyler substitution. We don't know what the number said, like where he was, and if they thought like he was worn out. I thought Tillman, like you, Jimmy, was more worn out than Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
But we don't know the numbers until we see him, and that's something we might hear in the post game. Because someone's going to ask about Tyler Adams. There's no way nobody's going to ask about Tyler Adams.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because taking away his his ability on the field. There's the intangibles, Chuck, right? And he was your player to watch before the game kicked off. He brings presence. He's a leader, right? He puts people in good spots to make plays. And then all of a sudden you take him off the field and there's a void of that. And now you're asking Sebastian Berhalter, and now Jack McGlynn comes into the, and everybody's just under pressure and we're dropping deeper, and you need guys with experience. Obviously, Tyler's one of the most experienced players we have in this particular group of players to solve problems. And when you take him off, I thought that was to the detriment of the team overall. And maybe we'll get some more information afterwards, in fairness to the decisions that were being made. But still, frankly, pretty surprised. All right, let's get to the attacking players. And we have Malik Tillman, Diego Luna, and Patrick Agyemang. And I don't know where you want to start, but we did put up a poll here on the Gloss America YouTube channel about which of the starters from the semifinal should not start in the final itself. And Patrick Agyemang was the big winner with 54%, saying that Damian Downs should get the start over him. He does some good things, but then it seems like for everything that good that he does, there's another player or two that detracts from the positive stuff that he'd done. And kind of a mixed bag of a performance from Agyemang today. If you want to start there, Chuck.
Yeah, let's start with Agyemang. There are a number of positives to his play. But when we're talking about a number 9 in this system, we're talking about creating goals and scoring goals. And that department today really lacked efficiency. We saw the one time where he got around the right center back, got into a good position, and tried to go low far post, where you got to lift that, or you got to cut back because the second defender is sliding in. So when we talk about Patrick Agyemang, has he improved with his hold-up play? I think so. Has he improved with his first touch? I think so. But the passing has been off. The weight of the pass, it's too far behind. It's not hit enough with enough force. And then we're talking about the finishing part, the aspect that really matters as a number 9. It's if you aren't scoring, you got to do all those other things and still make a big impact. I think he makes an impact, which I think that's why Pochettino likes playing him, because he's a handful to deal with, but it's not clean. It's not clean enough where the U.S. can go, okay, we can rely on you because you open up the game and he's a good passer. So I would like to say, okay, I'd love to see Tillman, but we all know Pochettino's not changing the team. He's not changing Agyemang at this stage in the final if he's gone with them the whole way through.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make any changes, which we can get into that in a little bit, because we're gonna evaluate Mauricio Pochettino. But we're gonna get into our first break of this recap here on Call It What You Want. We'll break down Mauricio Pochettino. We'll talk about Tillman and Luna as well. And we'll obviously have a special guest, because we like to have special guests. Paul Tenorio will be joining us from The Athletic live from the stadium. So, yeah, keep it right here. We'll be right back. Hi, hello, and welcome back to your favorite average to good show. Call it what you want. I'm Conradinho alongside Chuck Wagon and Big Tones, and we are into the recap of the U.S.'s big semifinal win, 2-1 over Guatemala. Guatemala, good account of themselves. They should be really proud. They had a fantastic tournament and just fell a little bit short, but I would be pretty surprised if they don't make this expanded World Cup next summer. So I'm pulling for Guatemala to make that happen because they have a lot of good storylines, and that would be the first time they've ever qualified for a World Cup, which would be a very big deal. So let's make that happen. I was really impressed with how they performed. All right, so we talked about Patrick Agyemang with our resident number 9, Charlie Davies. Now, Big Tones, I want you to have a crack at Tillman and Diego Luna and how you thought they performed overall. Now it's interesting because Tillman's been our best attacking player consistently throughout this tournament. I thought he was quiet today based on the standards that he's set. Okay, he looked a little tired at the end of the game too. And then you had Diego Luna, who had 2 goals, but I saw a lot of turnovers from him today too, which we need him and Tillman to get on the ball. They're our most creative players to help us dictate the tempo and the flow. And that's when the game's the hardest, when we're playing against potentially Mexico in the final. We're taking on a Switzerland or Turkey in the friendlies, or Korea and Japan in September.
I don't think he had a lot of turnovers, by the way.
Luna?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, maybe a lot. That feels
26 for 32 tonight is passing.
So he had 6 turnovers.
41 touches. But he's an attacking player in the attacking third.
I want to
right?
give him room to take chances and take risks. But there were a couple moments. I guess I'm thinking about 2 or 3 plays, Chuck, where he had a chance to get us out of some pressure and he missed the pass. And that's kind of the areas where I want us to be as tight and efficient as possible. So maybe I'm holding him up to a higher standard than I should. I know it's goddamn hot in July in St. Louis. So
yeah, but he was good.
He was a baller. He's a baller. And
yes.
he scored 2 goals. I don't want to take anything away from that. He scored 2 very good goals. And he's building off of the confidence that he had in scoring his first ever goal for the U.S. against Costa Rica. But I'm not mad about asking him more. I'm not regretting about asking him more and continuing to push his standard. But
you are a Luna hater. I got to give you that.
Okay, yeah. I was the first number 1 Luna.
Yeah,
Diego
sure.
Luna lover.
Hey, Tony, he's like, oh well, Luna lost the ball all the time.
Okay, here we go.
He barely had a shot on goal.
All right, here we go. Anyway, sorry, Big Tones. I took your airtime, but it's your turn.
Who'd you say, Luna and Tillman? Yeah, let's do Luna, right? First up, for me, anyone who scores 2 goals in the game is hard for me to knock, right? You're an attacking player. My expectation is if you're going to be brave and be an attacking player, you're going to lose the ball, right? At some point. You're going to go, but as long as you're putting people under pressure, for me, it's fine. I have no problem. That's for me, first and foremost. So I'll give, I don't know. I hate the grades, but positive game for Diego Luna for sure. Yes. And his attitude is incredible. The way he plays, he never stops until the coach takes him out of the game. Right. So give him that. Tillman was a little bit quieter game, but then I'm thinking to myself, if I'm Guatemala and I'm looking at the last game, I'm like, there's one guy I need to stop on the U.S. I need to build things around stopping Malik Tillman. And I need to build things about not allowing him to get rhythm. I know already he got kicked 5 or 6 times in the last game, so I'm going to go and kick him. I think he took 2 or 3 pretty good hits today, right? Just think you guys went through, the school recently, so your mind's thinking that way. If the U.S. is going to make the game, if I'm Guatemala, and I'm thinking the U.S. is going to make the game, who's going to make it for them? It's going to be Tillman, right? So I need to do everything I can to stop the guy that's going to make the game and make somebody else make the game. Tonight it was Diego Luna. But I don't think Tillman was bad in the game. He had moments where he got out of pressure. He just didn't have a lot of moments, is what I would say.
Yeah. And we should take that into consideration for sure, where because of his success throughout the tournament, they were going to key on him a little bit, and he's going to have to find spaces or pockets of space in different ways. All right, let's take a look at that passing map. We have it uploaded and ready to go with regard to where we were creating our space, where kind of our starting positions were based on our map.
Look at Berhalter. See, to me, this reeks of like he's playing in a different position and not next to Tyler Adams.
Yeah, he's almost playing like an 8, right?
He is playing as an 8. He is playing as an 8.
Yeah.
But I'll say the same thing. Look at Luca De La Torre.
Yeah.
Way high up the field, and really.
Remember, he was your
Stapleton.
10, right? He was supposed to be your 10 in the game, right?
Yeah.
So he should be higher.
I think Tillman was really, for me, supposed to be the 10. He was central, but like you both pointed out, he was dropping deep because they were trying to take him out of the game. So he was trying to create more space for himself by checking in, but that ended up taking him out of the game, which gave Diego Luna more space, and it gave Ajiman more space, but Ajiman couldn't profit from it, right? He just couldn't figure out a way. I think he really needs to work on the timing of his runs. And I go back to watching him live with the U.S. men's national team in Hartford against Turkey A. And I thought to myself, man, there are a lot of times where Turkey A left him one-on-one. And they left him one-on-one with outside backs. But he didn't take the initiative to make the run into the space.
Right.
He thought, I'm just going to post up. That's when you got to drag your guy out and then make that arching run into the channel. There the ball goes, and you're off to the races. So I really think he needs to work on his movement, one, but the timing of his movement, taking advantage of those vacancies when a team like Guatemala is pushing numbers forward. It's perfect for you instead of staying put and trying to be like a big tower who's going to hold off one or two center backs. His strength is not that. His strength is not building with, when we build out of the back and they play to the striker and he's trying to link play and play through the lines. That's not his game. His game is over the top or run into the channel and get on to the end of things and and causing havoc. And then you gotta make the most of your chances. So I think there's a lot of fine tuning that needs to happen. And because of that, would we like to see Damian Downs get an opportunity from the start? I saw in the comments, hey, Patrick Ajiman's not starting in the World Cup. Especially, let's take into consideration, Balogun's healthy and he's playing at Monaco. Pepe gets back and he's playing, right? Ajiman's not starting. So best case scenario, he comes off the bench. And what I was saying, he could be like a Wout Weghorst for that type of version. Coming on, different type of player, different profile. Nothing about him graceful, but just running and cause havoc. You're a big body. He could be that. And it could be a great addition to an attack that needs some support. But in terms of starting and running at guys and being the starter, and that I think it's too short of a time to develop those qualities to the level you need him to be at to really thrive in a World Cup.
Yeah, for everybody that's just listening, we threw up a passing map, and what was surprising was that Berhalter was a little bit higher up the field than Tyler Adams, even though they look like on paper they'll be next to each other. Luca De La Torre was much higher than Tillman, which was interesting. And I think for the first time throughout the Gold Cup, you had Freeman and Arfsten almost equal. I think in the other games, Arfsten was a little bit higher up the field and picking up the ball higher up the field. So a couple notes that we noticed from that passing map in particular. All right. We talked about it. Let's bring it up now. Big Tones, Mauricio Pochettino. Let's evaluate him. Let's start with the starting 11 because he made no changes from the Costa Rica game. Were you surprised by that, especially now when at the end of this game again we see guys that look a little bit tired? They've logged a lot of minutes so far. Tones is muted.
Oh God, Tones!
We love it. Tones.
I did it on purpose this time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tones in the chat for the muting.
Love
it.
Yeah, look, we were surprised. We said, though, it wasn't like we said in the last show there was going to be multiple changes. You and I said one or two, right?
Yeah,
that's what we said in the last game. So it wasn't the surprise is not necessarily the start. I'm trying to figure out while you guys were talking this substitution pattern. Like if I have it right, and I'm gonna have to go map it out because it's not easy on the run, but I think we played 3 different formations in this game, and I just don't know. I know they work on things, and they probably, at a minimum, talked about all of the responsibilities because there's not at this point you're not training a ton, right? But that's a tough ask, man, to do.
Go back to Pochettino's first substitution in Nations League. We're losing.
Which was the McGlynn one you're talking about?
We're struggling to break down Panama. They're in a low block. We need players who can get wide and cause mismatches because that's where you get them in the wide areas. They all got super tight and narrow, made it difficult to play. He took off Tessman to put on
It was Tessman, yeah.
McGlynn.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you giving the team in that position?
So what you're saying, Chuck, is that there's a history of poor substitutions under Mauricio Pochettino.
Yes, I am saying that. 100%. You can't tell me.
Has become more apparent than ever.
You cannot tell me that there's not an issue right now with the timing of the substitutions and the players that are being substituted and the players that are going in for the substitutions. I'll go back to tonight. It is a mind-blowing substitution to take off Tyler Adams.
It's unbelievable.
When you were up 2-0. I know Tyler missed.
There better be a reason for that.
I know Tyler missed a couple passes to Berhalter. They
whatever.
They didn't communicate. Whatever.
Fine.
But I'm telling you, as a defensive midfielder primarily, who closes down space in a short amount of time, Andy SVTA, he's gassed. Who wasn't gassed? We're talking about protecting a lead. I don't care if you're gassed. You think these guys aren't going to be gassed in a World Cup? Come on, that's gassed. Don't give me that. We're in the Gold Cup semifinals. Don't give me no gassed as a reason you're going to take out Tyler Adams. Oh, that one.
Mind-blowing.
I'm not going to sit well with it. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because I'm going to be thinking about how could you take off Tyler Adams? Unless Tyler Adams looked at you and said, Coach, I need a sub. You can't take him off. You can't. And then on top of that, you're going to put in Tolkien for Tyler Adams?
Yes, yeah.
That's your substitution. Come on.
It's funny. This might be the first time Mauricio Pochettino has triggered Chuck Big Tones. I mean, I don't know if we'd seen it before, but now I feel like
we got some others. Oh, Tyler is on a yellow card. That's why we're gonna sub him. He was looking reckless.
No, you can't.
No, that's not.
It doesn't carry over to the final anyway.
Oh,
yeah, no. You it's your leader. He knows.
But I think he's talking more about getting a red card, not that it turns.
Okay.
I'm guessing he's talking about. But
he. So what?
Yeah, he's got to manage that. But he can. He's not like Tyler Adams hadn't been on a yellow card before. I can tell you that.
I think what's interesting is that we made in the 77th minute we made 2 subs. Tolkien
I'm
came
looking
on
at
for
him,
Diego
Jim.
Luna.
I don't get.
And Jack McGlynn comes on for Tyler Adams, and 3 minutes later we give up a goal. I don't think that's a coincidence. Those are just not good subs. I don't.
But
you said during the game, Tone.
It's not. Of course, it's not a coincidence.
But here's my thing. Here's the Jack McGlynn. Forget the Adams part right now. Jack McGlynn. We've been saying forever, right, that his best position is actually where Tyler Adams plays, right? So if you told me you made this like for whatever, Adams is tired, whatever the reason is, you didn't put him there. You still didn't put him there. He didn't play in that part of the field, right? Like I'm looking at it and I just can't. Tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to go map out like everyone and how the formation changed and all stuff, and it's going to be difficult, man.
Tell me this. My meniscus hurt. We got some trolls in here. He said we rate Tyler Adams too high.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
It's like, come on, guys.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Let's be real.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Yeah. It's so there's, I don't know how, it depends on how you're defining how you rate someone. I mean, Tyler Adams brings presence. He brings leadership. He brings direction. Problem solver, right? You're asking sometimes some younger players but don't have the same amount of experience to worry about something more than themselves. Tyler's played enough where he can worry about the big picture. He can make sure he can sit. And let's be honest, as center backs, you get comfortable with players that how they're creating space, how they're blocking passing lanes, all this type of stuff. When you take that player out and then bring on John Tolkien to fill that role, or you move in Sebastian Berhalter to a different spot and he's got to drop deeper, it's just not the same. And now you're asking these guys to react in the same way behind them, that back line behind them, when they're used to that guy in front of them that was doing certain things. Yes, these guys are playing at the highest level. They should be able to adapt quickly. I get all that. However, in the middle of a game, you want to make that as seamless of a transition as possible. And Mauricio Pochettino did his team 0 favors by putting McGlynn and Tolkien on for Luna and Tyler Adams. I agree with you. It defies logic, and hopefully there's some people in the press conference that are going to ask him these questions, and hopefully we'll get Paul Tenorio on afterwards so we can hear what some of those answers were. yeah, I just don't get it. And then he made a correction, Chuck. Remember you were saying during the watch along that now he makes the substitution. Damian Downs comes in for Ajiman, who clearly looked tired. And then he brings on Zimmerman to just lock it down, right? You had a lead, bring on a center back. You could have been McKenzie, could have been Zimmerman. Just bring on something that's more defensive-minded than leaving Max Arston at left back as opposed to having
Jimmy,
John Tolkien. It's crazy. It's
no.
I
Tell
don't
me
understand
this.
it.
Tell me this. Yeah. Both of you guys. You guys obviously have your defensive hats on, right? Defensive-minded hats.
Always.
You're up 2-0. You're gonna take off your defensive midfielder, or you're gonna take off an attacking midfielder like Malik Tillman, who is gassed. You talk about gassed? He's much more gassed than Tyler Adams.
Gassed.
You keep him on.
Yes.
You keep your striker on, who's gassed as hell too. For me, these substitutions are just so puzzling because they don't make sense, and they got punished for them. And then you go, panic mode. Walker Zimmerman, get on in there. You know? I'm telling you right now.
By the way, Walker was in there for one reason, to win headers. If balls pumped in the box, he won the one header that he had to win in the box, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
He was there for one reason.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm assuming that
really
people are going to ask these questions, right? I'm assuming they're going to ask these questions, and we're going to find out more.
Yeah, we are. We still got the win, so there's still lots of positives there. Or at least that's the one positive we could take out of this. And the brace from Diego Luna.
Yeah,
Diego Luna's brace. Hey, his second goal was so well taken, and the setup to the first goal was great. He had switched point of attack and finished it off. So I want to end this one segment on something positive. Way to go, Diego Luna, and way to go, guys, for getting yourself into a Gold Cup final. We appreciate you. All right, we're gonna take our last break. Well, we're gonna take our last break and call what you want. We'll see if Big Tones comes back or not. And we'll start to
he's gone like my AC, Jimmy.
Your AC was gone a long time ago.
My AC gone, and now Tony gone.
Gone. All right, we'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in to Call It What You Want, the stretch run of our recap of the U.S.'s 2-1 win over Guatemala. I'm Jimmy Conrad alongside Charlie Davies and Tony Miola. And so we have evaluated everyone on the team, including head coach Mauricio Pochettino. And so there's been some chatter around the grit of this team and maybe the lack of grit from our quote-unquote A squad. And what are we seeing grit-wise, Chuck? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing the grit from this team? Are you seeing enough of it? For me, that kind of bleeds in at times into managing games. And even though I said there's some positives there, with like they still found a way to get a result.
Yeah.
Okay, it might not always be pretty, but they still found a way to get a result. There's different layers of grit, I should say, if we want to slice it that way. But what are you thinking about the mentality and the grit of this team?
Well, they're in a final, so you can't get to a final without grit and mentality. I think Saudi Arabia was a good test because they played with grit. They were defensive. I think Haiti was a great test, a surprising test. Trinidad was obviously the outlier because that was the worst Trinidad team I've seen in my lifetime. They were terrible.
Yeah, they were
good. But then I'd say the Saudi Arabia match was a great test. They were tough. They were trying to make it really difficult, slowing the play down, delaying, low blocks, counter, something I don't think maybe the U.S. necessarily thought they would do, especially given their first game. And then the Haitians, they came to play. They were surprisingly really good, but they got the job done. They won. Guatemala, for me, is a really interesting. Costa Rica, I'll go to Costa Rica first. Costa Rica, that's a team that comes with grit. So they matched the grit to win that game. Was it pretty? No, I wouldn't say any of these matches were necessarily pretty. At times, like you said, we saw some good intricate passing plays and good movement and creating chances. But they finally got to they finally, I think, understood how to get results, which is a great thing. They're in the final. We always talk about if they play pretty and they're not in the final, they lose the
What
quarters.
does that mean? What does that mean?
Right?
Yeah,
Do we go,
right.
But they're in the final. I don't think anyone expected them to get in the final, to be honest. I don't think any of us thought they were getting the final, right? But they're in a final, and now they're waiting for Mexico, Honduras. If Honduras upsets this Mexican side, damn. But even if they don't, then we're really going to get a test. We're really going to see what these guys are made of. Where are they at? Well, how is Pochettino going to deal with the pressure of being in a final against Mexico? I think we're going to learn a whole lot more than what we've already learned up until this point.
Yeah, I think what's interesting to add to that, to piggyback off of that, is that when we played Turkey and Switzerland, that felt pretty early on in this, let's say, cycle of the group that he brought in. Now you've had a month with these guys. And I really hope we face Mexico. They've been the best team for me so far in the tournament, with all due respect to Honduras, who are going to have Guatemala/Costa Rica vibes, going to make it difficult to play against. And we've already faced a couple of those opponents. Mexico is going to be a much, much different challenge. And so I hope we get a crack at them for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because they're the best team in the tournament. And I want to see how these players do. And I want to see how Mauricio Pochettino manages this. Are we making the right subs? Are our tactics looking okay? Are all that type of stuff too, that gets thrown into the equation. So I do hope that we get Mexico, but yeah, I'm curious as to how this group is going to respond with a couple days rest, taking on hopefully a good opponent. And I'm getting ahead of myself because that game gets up later. But Tone's like, where are you on the grit and determination of this group?
No doubt, grit and determination. I wrote this down at the bottom of my around halftime. I said, has the lack of rotation caught up with us for this tournament? Right? Because we gave up 20 shots to a Guatemalan side. And I don't want to, for me, sometimes you said it, Chuck, you got to win ugly. This is perfect. We're in a final. They did their job. I just wonder, like, if it's all of we've come here for like 4 games in a row and have said, man, I can't believe we didn't make any changes, basically, right? There's been a couple along the way, but basically we've not been a team that's rotated, right, in this thing. And today in the second half, there's reason to have concern that guys got really tired in the semifinals, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it looked like that. Yeah, we had a lot of guys that looked leggy. Even in the Costa Rica game, you could start to see it shift. We made it 2-1, and then remember we were all waiting. Like, when is he going to make a sub? Like, when is he going to help out the player? I get trusting the guys that are on the field, and I have a lot of respect for that mentality. But also, like a timely sub, I think has to anticipate what's coming before it comes, right? And that's what the best ones do. That in-game management isn't just isolated to the players; it's also the manager making sure that the guys are as fresh and as organized as possible.
But Jim and Chuck, for me, the subs are different than the rotation, because the guys that are playing and starting all the time, like, they're the ones being the most taxed. And then there's a different argument about subs. Which ones do you take off, and who was tired, all of that stuff. And that's like a different argument for me. I'm just wondering if, just basically, I'm just sifting through all the lineups I wrote them, and we basically made hardly any. The third game, right, is the game that we made the changes. I think we made 4 changes in the third game. Yeah. So we've basically not changed. Like, you're taxing guys in the majority of the minutes, and taxing a lot of guys where along the way, like, if you gave 2 guys a rest for one game, and then 2 more guys a rest for another game, and another 2 guys didn't, you know what I mean? And you spread out the break, maybe you're in a different position at the end of the game where your guys don't look exhausted. And again, there'll be case studies about, all this stuff like they always do during these tournaments. And I wonder if that shows up somewhere.
All right. Yeah, that's a big question. And I'm hopeful that we can hold off that tiredness and legginess for after the final. Okay, so we have a very special guest with us. He joined us in game for the watch along. He just got back from the press conference, post-game press conference.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
It's the Athletics' Paul Tenorio, who's joining us live from Energizer Park in St. Louis. Hey, Paul, what's up? Thank you for coming back and hanging out with us.
Paul might not be with us just yet, but yeah, no, I'm interested to see, Jimmy, what happens here in this post-game. I assume Tyler Adams' question came up, because even if you didn't question the sub, somebody's going to ask, was Tyler injured, right? Because that's been a little bit of a concern, right? And I hope that's certainly hope that's not the case.
Well, yeah, because we want there to be a reason as to why he got subbed out. Otherwise, Chuck's going to continue to get triggered every time he thinks about taking off one of our best players with 10 minutes left in a meaningful game. And so Paul Tenorio will be joining us here in a second, just getting his audio connected as he deals with might be Chuck's type of Wi-Fi. I don't know. We'll have to see how it's going at Energizer Park.
Tony's Wi-Fi.
No, man, you guys, I don't understand what happened. I saw you guys. You're going, Tony's gone. Tony's gone. Oh, his Wi-Fi quit. Literally, I'm listening to every word you're saying, and I'm like, well, why am I not on the screen? I saw you, Chuck. Don't worry. I had you. I saw you red.
Okay, so one part of the conversation I want to have, and we can interrupt it once Paul joins us, and we can come back to it afterwards.
Come on, Paul. Let's go.
Well, it's every 4 years when the World Cup comes around, it's a huge opportunity to convert casual fans into more meaningful fans of the beautiful game, especially for the sport in this country, right? So they can support local teams, MLS, USL, NWSL, whatever it is, right? So it can help continue to lift the sport here. And I feel like there's an expectation when they see score lines, like we're not beating Guatemala easily, and I know we've had the discussion before about Concacaf this and Concacaf that, but anyway, we're going to get back into it because we got Paul Tenorio joining us right now, live from Energizer Park in St. Louis. Paul, are you there? There he is.
I'm here. Had some audio difficulties. Had to switch things up.
He's in a storage facility.
I'm in the loading dock waiting for the mix zone to get going. So a really interesting press conference, guys, from Mauricio Pochettino.
Oh boy.
I think a lot of his commentary was centered around the atmosphere tonight. And he was talking about the culture of the Guatemalan fans and the team and how much it meant for them, how much it meant for the fans, and that's the kind of culture that he wants to try to help create in the U.S. This kind of, that it's, as he said, kind of more than a sport, that it's more than that. When you lose where he's from in Argentina, when you lose a game, there's huge consequences, and that, he wants to see that kind of mentality and that attitude where he mentioned seeing Guatemalan players crying after the game, and that is what he wants to see more of. And he believes that this team, that this Gold Cup is starting to find that they understand what it takes to gut out those wins, to push themselves to the limit that playing in an atmosphere like this, where you have to survive through kind of the pressure and all of that. So I thought that part of it was interesting. I also felt like, he was asked a question specifically about the substitutions of Tolkien and McGlynn. And, he felt like they made sense, that he was putting an extra fullback onto the field as a winger, a guy who had played as a wing back and as a fullback at the club level. He was putting McGlynn in as a third midfielder. I felt like those substitutions didn't make as much sense, especially in the moment with McGlynn, where you're much more defensive oriented and a player who doesn't love to defend.
Paul, I got to stop you here because I'm bursting at the seam. Listen to me.
We got him.
The thoughts of a foreign coach coming to this country in 2025 and blaming the spectators or the audience for giving another team motivation in our country is mind-blowing to me. Because listen, it's so disrespectful to players like Tony Meola when no one in this country watched the game. It wasn't on TV. I didn't get to see a game until the World Cup. 1994 was the first time I got to watch soccer on TV in this country. And the blood and sweat and tears that this guy had to put in to establish the game in this country, really in 1990 to get to World Cup, but 1994 to take this game to the next level, to create a league in this country when no one watched, and for him to go talk about the fans, that pisses me off. That pisses me off.
It feels like a deflection.
What do you think all American players who have represented our country for all these years, what do you think we fought for? To play the game, to get coverage. You think we want to play in stadiums in our home cities that are predominantly favoring the other team? Hell no.
We got to get Mauricio Pochettino. We got to get him on the. We got to get him on the show.
No, I think, but you've got to remember that this is a new experience for him, right? Yeah, and he was praising the Guatemalan fans more than he was criticizing
the El Salvador fans in DC. I'm praising Mexican fans when they play us in LA and Texas. I don't want to hear that BS. I want to hear that. You know what, guys? Guatemala. We should have taken care of business. We're up 2-0. We took our foot off the pedal. We dropped too deep. We gave them respect. And you know what? I got the subs wrong. Not. I thought it was a good idea. It wasn't a good idea, and that's why you had to put on a center back and take
deflecting. He's deflecting.
Max Arpson. It was poorly managed. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I think also, the one other thing that there was an acknowledgement of was at the end of the day, at 2-0 down, you need to finish your chances. And that didn't happen. But part of the reason was, and I agree with you, Chuck, I felt like they did not, there's two ways to kill off a game. And they went into a defensive posture, a more conservative posture, rather than holding the ball, making Guatemala chase, trying to kill off the game that way, create more opportunities on the front foot. I thought that they were much too conservative against the Guatemala team that, you can give respect. And it was an awesome atmosphere for them. They're 106th ranked in the world. And, while this isn't the A squad of the U.S., it doesn't matter. You saw in the first 15, 20 minutes that if you push the game forward, you get more aggressive, that you can create goals and score goals. Should Ajamong have finished a chance? Yes. But I agree, the mentality in the second half disappointed me. And by the way, they do that in the final. If it's against Mexico, it's going to be more problematic than it was tonight against Guatemala. I thought a surprising end to the second half. And I did think it was a very interesting press conference because it did kind of warp more into a conversation about culture and the sport at large rather than it was necessarily about the U.S. The exception would be kind of talking a bit about Diego Luna and kind of this group's growth. But overall, it wasn't there wasn't much of an acknowledgement of he didn't see it as a negative that they were surviving at the end of the game. It's basically kind of how I felt.
Paul, Tony, Jimmy, tell me if I'm wrong. In 2025, if you're a coach coming to coach in this country for the U.S. men's national team, you should know by now that when you play certain opponents, given America and how many different countries have come to this country, have immigrated to this country, and the pockets that we have, that if you play Mexico in LA, in Texas, guess what? It's going to be 85% Mexican. If you play El Salvador or Honduras in DC, guess what? It's going to be at least 50%. At least, most likely more of the other team. So why are we discussing that now? This is not a secret. Every coach knows this. So Tony,
he's
deflecting. He's deflecting.
I listened to. I want Mauricio Pochettino to make sure he fixes our national team rather than the culture at our national team games. That period. Yeah, I want that. I didn't bring him here to fix the culture and the melting pot that America is and talk about the thing that's been going on forever. And quite honestly, Paul, I don't think is ever going to change. Ever, no matter what. Yeah. I think we're gonna grow more fans for U.S. men's national team games, but I don't think that's gonna change. So that aside, for you, outside of Diego Luna, because I think he's the obvious one, right? Who played well for you tonight?
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. I felt like, you know what, I thought the central midfielders were solid for most of the game. Like I thought Sebastian Berhalter, Tyler Adams, played fine, didn't make mistakes. The US wasn't very aggressive overall when they had the ball. So there weren't too many moments where I was like, oh, like I'm surprised that they're not pushing this game forward. It was I thought the end of the first half they were kind of in good control. So I was okay with the way the midfield played. I want to see more out of a lot of different players. Like I said this during the game, I still feel this way after the way the second half went. Like Ajamong needs to finish chances. If you're going to keep putting him out there, starting him, like I was begging for Damian Downs at the end of the game. Like, put somebody else on to show me what they're capable of doing. Matt Freese, like I thought there were some shaky moments from him today again. Like I'm not fully convinced even after the penalty heroics. I really thought this was the first game that I thought maybe Alex Freeman was starting to get a little bit more involved in the attacking phases. I want way more of that. Like, I want way more of seeing him getting involved when he pushes higher up the field. The U.S. is in a far better spot than when the field tilts to the left side, I thought. So, overall, I thought Diego Luna obviously had the best game. The midfield kind of was fine. The center backs as well. They were clean, simple. But, I thought for me, like this performance, this win could have been more convincing had the approach been different, especially in the second half. Just far too conservative for me.
Paul, we appreciate your time. We know you're in the middle of doing
Paul.
pressers in the mix zone. Make sure you check him out on The Athletic. Paul Tenorio, thank you so much. Hopefully you'll be back with us for the final. All right, that's it. We are calling it a show. Here's a fun fact, though. We're coming back at you. Okay, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, live here on the Glosso America YouTube channel, and it should be a lot of fun. We're still going to have a lot of raw emotion. Hopefully, Charlie finds some AC and get some water, get some food.
No, good thing I'm not on that one. Good thing I'm not on that one.
Charlie's emotional. Oh, you won't even be with us
again?
We're giving him a week off. He needs some rest. He needs some rest.
Why do you think I'm back?
That's going to be nice and cool out there. That's going to be nice and breezy out there.
That's it. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Glosso Network, Glosso America YouTube channel. We will see
everyone.
you tomorrow. Congrats again to the U.S. for booking their ticket to the final. Later.
Oh, man, what a